Andrew Schulz, and passes to the cookout. And these are the topics that I want to talk about. Number one, Andrew Schulz. If you guys have heard about the situation with him and, his response to Kendrick Lamar about Kendrick Lamar saying that, basically white comedians shouldn't be speaking on black women, bashing black women, et cetera, et cetera. He's responded by saying a whole bunch of off the wall crazy things about Kendrick Lamar, and he's overstepped and violated black women and black people a lot of times. And honestly, Andrew Schulz, he couldn't overstep if black men didn't allow him to. If there wasn't any consequences for his behavior, he wouldn't be able to do that if it was not commonplace in our community for the men to either allow disrespect against themselves and us, or also not only that, but encourage disrespect against us and each other. We can never get there if that didn't happen. Number two, I wanted to talk about the fact that this whole Andrew Schulz situation is definitely directly related to black men. And just like I said, they're opening the door for disrespect against black women. The world notices these conversations. The world notices these conversations and start to have, a lack of respect for the black community. And since, still overwhelmingly men are in charge, the behavior of men affects how each community is viewed. It's not so much the women. Hey, how you doing, Miss Chrissy, baby? Um, Number three, I wanted to talk about Kendrick Lamar getting upset and about disrespect towards black women that was, perpetrated by a white man, however, associates and participates in a culture that is built off the degradation of black women. That's giving hypocrisy. Period. And just I'm a black woman and I can see the hypocrisy in it. Other people can too. And that's another reason why people step to black men the way they do, especially a black rapper, black male rapper. Number four, and I see black women also do this, so black women are not exempt. Stop giving passes to the cookout. Just because you see somebody of another race do something that we do mediocrely does not mean they need a pass. Just because you see them using AAVE perfectly doesn't mean they need a pass. Just because they made an R&B song sounding like a black female, or I guess that would it be black female? I think black female would sound better than black woman. A black female artist, you see a person of another race doing it, and so now you want to give them all the props and all the flowers and everything. Like, all of these things are highly, damaging to the black community. And I don't know what the problem is. But anyway, I wanted to talk about these topics. So if anybody wants to join the live panel and talk about it, I would appreciate it. Because I do think that it's a problem in the black community that, we allow these things to go on. Let's see here. I'm going to add somebody up. Hey, Miss Chrissy, baby.
Good morning, Triggered.
Good morning.
I agree. I served in the military, and I work in a really male, like I think it's 16% women, less than 1% black women in the career field I'm in. And I think the way I've seen conversations where it'll be a white coworker and they're just talking about football and stuff, and then, their girlfriends and wives. And I remember on a number of occasions they'd be like, why you guys treat y'all women so bad? And it's of course very awkward because I'm sitting there on the other side of the room listening to this conversation, and they definitely notice how they degrade their women. And I think black men don't understand. It makes them look weak. I'm just going to say, it makes them look weak to other races, because I've heard other races, majority white men, like pose that question to them after these long conversations over there, making fun of, you know, doing what they do together. I've seen Andrew Schulz and I forgot the shits and gigs, whatever their name is, type dynamics plenty of times in the 20 something years I've been in my career.
Oh, sorry about that. I had to mute myself. Definitely agree with you. I know that my husband, he had come home from work one day and he was upset because his white tea coworker who was Russian was like, why don't black women like their hair? Why black women wear wigs? Is it because their hair, they don't like their texture and they want to be white women? And he was saying a whole bunch of stuff that like black men say online. And my husband said he was telling them that that's not true. And where did he get this information from? And he was saying, oh, yeah, stuff that I've heard online and everything like that. And it was just like,
Mm-hmm.
whoa, like y'all are really putting out a bad image of not only yourself, but of us for other races to consume and make their own conclusions about who we are and what we are because y'all have no chill. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. I remember they used to watch Kevin Samuels when he, the little clips where he's making fun of a woman, like in the break room, and like it was probably only like two or one black man there while they're watching and laughing. It was awful, especially being a black woman. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you're not going to say nothing to me. I'm like, hey, turn that off. Like that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. And I just feel like it's a conversation that needs to be had because when outsiders come in the community and violate, like Andrew Schultz, black men act like they don't know why. Oh, I'm so upset at him. How dare he talk about raping Kendrick Lamar? How dare he talk about doing that? That's buck breaking and this and that. Ask why he felt comfortable to do that in the first place.
Right.
Ask why are y'all not addressing those reasons why he even did it in the first place and feels like when he's out in the streets that ain't nobody gonna go up to him and just knock his teeth out or
Mm-hmm.
do something to him
Mm-hmm. I
because all these people, all of these rappers that have been unalive, King Von, Young Dolph, um freaking Pop Smoke, P&B Rock, all of these dudes that black men that look like them, that they don't have any problem hurting them each other or unaliving each other or beating the brakes off each other or doing any of these things. But in the community, it's okay for other people to violate and do crazy things, and y'all just let them walk away scot free and walk around, and they know that. And
Mhm.
that's why I said earlier, it's like the black community and any community is only, in my opinion, people say that a community is only as strong as its women, but it's not true. It's as strong as its men. If everybody knows that they can come and overstep and say whatever they want to say to black, well, first of all, they see the example of black men. They see y'all violating your women, being mean to your women, disrespecting your women, putting women up on other women on a pedestal and putting down your own. They already looking at y'all as weak, and that's why I don't understand why they are not more upset. This is an open statement to the world that this white man thinks that black men are weak, period. And not
Right.
only that, but he had a black man sitting on the couch
Mm-hmm.
just to kick in.
Mm-hmm. That's the part that's baffling to me. I don't know if they behave like this because they think they're more adjacent to whiteness, by humiliating and humbling black women in a public space, but it's doing the opposite effect. For him to make a joke about buck breaking, think about that. Openly, a rapper that's from LA, that's in gang culture, like he must feel really confident that you're weak. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. And that's really all I got from it is that he's very arrogant. He's used to black men getting on the bended knee for him. And
Mm-hmm.
I really do believe that it's just like when, like you said earlier, S and Gigs was up there on his podcast and how they tried to say that the reason why they let him disrespect black women or they all of these things happen is that they were scared. They didn't know what to do. They were
Right.
powerless against this 100-pound white T man that looked like he couldn't bust a grape. They were terrified, and that's very telling to me that this man's whiteness is enough for y'all to be intimidated and to be terrified, and that's exactly the reason why. in my opinion, the men in our community will be on the bottom, the least respected male in the world forever because of things like that. And I'm not saying that there aren't any black men that will stand up, but the majority will not. And that's the
Mhm.
reason why he feels comfortable. He got a doggone podcast with Charlemagne. He's overstepped and violated multiple times. I remember, I think it was Andrew Schulz was comparing Taylor Swift to Beyonce, and you could tell that he felt very offended that Charlemagne had said something disparaging about Taylor Swift, like, or that could be perceived as disparaging. He was ready to stand up and defend, the women in his culture. However, he don't have no problem laughing and giggling and kikiing when Charlemagne and other black men that come on his platform say things that are disrespectful to black women. And
Right.
they never pick up on none of that.
Mm-mm. 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 I think I'm just confused by their outrage of Andrew Schultz considering his behavior with black men around. I don't understand that. Like, that's confusing for me.
It's definitely confusing for me too. And I think this is a black man, or he may be a biracial man. I can't really tell because he says in the comments that like Andrew Schultz is valid, and so I'm not quite for sure. Like looking at his picture, I can't tell because he looks like he could be he's black. Yeah, then you're just okay for Saki or whatever. You're just a perfect example. I'm glad you're in here of the weak type of buck broken male that I'm talking about. Like you're exactly the perfect example of a buck broken, weak, cowardly black male that would definitely bend the knee and blow the nutsacks of a white T man because you feel as if they're superior to you deep down inside, which is embarrassing for you. Terribly embarrassing for you. Let's see here. Joshua 5469 says, "Get over yourself. I'm gonna block you. You got a blank profile, and your name is Josh. You probably are not the color to be having this discussion. You're blocked. Bye bye." Um, yeah, because I'm not gonna have anybody have a discussion about it that you already know. I can't say certain things on social media, but you know the deal. You know that this is not a conversation for you, and you know I don't care about your opinion. Why would I care about your opinion about the overstepping of us? Yeah, man, all right. I really wish I could say more, but I won't. Um, as I was saying, just like four guy says weak is crazy, you're whining about a joke. I it the lack of intelligence that so many men in our supposed community have is absolutely disturbing to me. It, first of all, I don't know if you've ever heard the saying that there is truth in jest. That's absolutely true. And number two, there are certain jokes that you don't make, or certain jokes that you make because you feel comfortable in knowing that the people you're telling the joke to are suckers. You get what I'm saying? And that wasn't a joke. What about it was funny? And it's crazy because nowadays y'all will say literally anything, and then when you get backlash, try to say it's a joke or say things that you really want to say that are disrespectful, but then make it as a joke. I could say, all right, you guys. I'm trying to go live here on this channel. My other live got shut down.
Yo,
See here, let
check
me.
this out, baby girl. What?
No,
Excuse me.
I
How y'all
can't. No,
doing?
I'm first.
Grand Rising.
Okay,
Grand
just a
Rising.
second.
Grand
I
Rising.
think that y'all are already starting it off wrong. We'll start off with the person at the top, not Matt 095.
Yeah, so I want to touch on number three. I feel like no, it didn't degrade them. It objectified them, but it didn't degrade them. And you can even see that in today because now they're using it to build their own careers.
Okay,
Female rap
that's
is a big thing, and they're just rapping about the more positive aspects of black women that they used to back in the day. I don't
that
think it's
doesn't make sense.
degrading.
Objectification is degradation. You can't make songs where you say that bees ain't S word and hoes ain't good for nothing, but what's between their legs, and a whole host of other disrespectful songs that have been brainwashed and put into the young girls from back in the day. I would say probably like before me, like my dad's generation with NWA and Ice Cube and Too Short and Ice T and Sugar Free and all the pimp culture and all the women ain't nothing and saying the most horrible things. That has affected the mentality and the psyche of the women that were back then. and they raise daughters that also internalize that disrespect and degradation.
No, I
Black
mean,
culture definitely was built on the degradation and disrespect of Black women. Nobody ever talked about, hey, let's love our Black women. Let's treat them like
all
queens.
right.
They deserve
Can
the
I
world.
interject now?
Uh, okay.
Respectfully, like y'all be rambling on TikTok. I don't know
Okay,
what be going on
respectfully, you're going to
when
get
you
off
have
my
conversation.
platform. Bye bye. Have a great day. You're already an ignorant jigaboo, and I can already tell. You know what I'm saying? You're ignorant Pookie. I can tell by the words that you said, by just what you said about rap not being built on the degradation of Black women. You're already a goofy. And then you think you're going to tell me I'm rambling because I've given you information? You're a dummy. Please get out of here. Go somewhere else. You just said conversate. Conversate isn't a word, dummy. Conversation is. So that lets me know right there that you have the IQ and the intellect of an ant. So I why would I talk to you about anything? Please get your goofy self somewhere else. Go somewhere else and talk to somebody that has the same IQ as you, which would be a kindergartner or a preschooler. Get out of here. Like, what are you talking about? I know you don't think that you gonna come on my live and interrupt me and tell me I'm rambling and you think I'm still finna have a conversation with you. That's exactly what I mean when I say that rap culture, Black culture got y'all losing y'all mind. Y'all really think that y'all can real life and real time disrespect a woman and she just supposed to be like, oh, okay, all right, yeah. Like, get out of here. And then you got the nerve to say you mad ASH. Yes, I am, because you play with me. You play with me, and I don't play like that. I don't play with disrespect, especially with some goofball that's got a dog as his profile picture. The only reason why you got a dog as your profile picture is because that's what you are. Like I said, I'm not about to play with you. Get your goofy behind off of here. No, Tyler Perry got you losing your mind. Cause you look like you the exact type of stereotype of a Black man that he puts in his stuff, which is no good, ignorant, abusive, don't know how to act. Like, get out of here. Leave. You ain't boosting nothing. This is my backup page. You ain't boosting anything at all. Please get out of here. Like, for real. Anyway, let me go ahead and add these people in here. Like, please be respectful. This is my backup page. I don't normally even talk over here. Um, yeah. Okay, so yeah, so this is the topics on the screen, you guys. I will start off with this GMMG because he was the first person that was on here earlier. Well, you wasn't the first person, but you dropped when the other guy was up here. So you can go ahead. I'll give you 2 minutes.
Much love. I'm listening to you. Just I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back. I'm here. I'm still listening though.
Okay. All right, then let me go down here to without my armor. Go ahead. I'll give you 2 minutes.
Question. I mean, who's disrespecting the women who do it to themselves?
Okay, without my armor, I think that once again, I don't know if you just got here, but the beginning of gangster rap and the culture that we know now that's been curated for Black men and Black women of disrespect, NWA, Ice Cube, Ice T, Sugar Free, Too Short, Luke, all of these people, they started the culture off with telling Black women repeatedly, you're a B word, you're a 304, you're no good. The only thing you're good is for what's between your legs. That was what the women of that time, which I would probably say my dad's time, was brainwashed with. And those women became indoctrinated with that culture. There are plenty of women that internalized that, and they in turn had daughters, and they in turn had daughters. And that's where we have now with women that have internalized that ideology of themselves. You can't spend several decades calling women B's and 304s and Lutz and saying that they're only good for what they can do in the bedroom and shaking their booty, and then be mad that the daughters of those women, the daughters and granddaughters of those women, do exactly what you brainwash them to believe that they are only worth. Tell me 30 songs, or not even 30, 15 songs back then that said, Black women, that was mainstream. Black women, you're our Black queens. Don't sleep with me and don't do this. You have more value than that. No, you didn't hear that type of music. So once again, that's the problem in itself. But that's not even what I'm really talking about. I'm talking about Andrew Schulz and how he's overstepping in the community, and he would never be able to allow to do that if Black men didn't allow him to. And that Black men are the first ones that open the door for disrespect against Black women. So why get mad at this white T-man for doing what y'all do currently and have done historically? That's all I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense.
So what about the women who rapping today that don't have no male influence,
So
like
you didn't
Sexy
just
Red
hear
or
what
the
I
City
just said.
Girls?
Did you hear what I said or not? I said that the culture that has been curated for the Black community, back then, all of those rappers that I mentioned indoctrinated not only the men, but the women. And those women had daughters, and those women had daughters, daughters and daughters. And that mentality has been indoctrinated in a lot, and it's been internalized by a lot of young Black women, that their only worth is that, because that's all they've heard for several decades. That's why they're doing that. How can you be mad at women for doing what you have told them that they are for literally decades upon decades upon decades? How are you getting mad if somebody like Meg Thee Stallion twerks her booty and talks about her sexual prowess when that's all you said Black women were good for several years, for
So
several
you just
decades?
proving us right then.
That doesn't make any sense. Are you that? It's so disappointing to have a conversation with y'all because y'all don't make any
No,
logical
you
sense.
just
Y'all don't
going
even
over
listen. Let
accountability.
me just
That's
move forward. Accountability for what? Why don't you have accountability for creating the genre of music that made us a joke to the entire world and only expose the fact that Black men are oftentimes abusive and degrading to the women in their community and are filled with criminality? What about that? Like, why are you not taking accountability for that? Why didn't you mention that first? All you did is do, well, what about the women's? What about the women's? I've never seen another demographic of men say that they are manly men, masculine men, want women to submit to them, yet every time something happens, they defer to the women and put the blame on the women. It's scary to me. Anyway, let me just keep going. Child free trad wife, I think, is next. And then Miss Chrissy Baby, and then Eddie. Oh, and the super villain too. I forgot. Go ahead, child free trad wife.
Good morning, host. Thank you for allowing me to come up. I won't take up too much of your time. I want to say I'm an old chick, and you are spot on with everything you are saying. I remember during the 80s when Carol Moseley Braun, who was a congresswoman at the time, would take the time to get on television and say, this gangster rap music, is going to be the decline and the ruination of the Black community. I remember her being absolutely vilified by the likes of Tupac Shakur and other Black male rappers who pushed the narrative that for her to make that statement was her denying Black men the right to make money. That was the whole push at the time. So you are spot on with what you're saying. And the reason the Black males on this live can't have a conversation with you about it, let's just be blatantly honest, because they are incapable of owning that part. They don't know how to reconcile that and not see themselves as the villain, because all they're hearing is you're making them the villain. They don't know how to separate the two. But you are 100% spot on with what you're saying. Rap music did a number. It decimated the image of Black women across the globe. It really did. Not just in America, across the globe, because of course we are seen as a monolith. So I agree with you. Thank you for this live, and I'll land.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much, child free. Okay, let me go up here to Miss Chrissy Baby, then super villain, and then Eddie. Go ahead, Miss Chrissy Baby.
Good morning. Sorry. Just be careful because some of the people spamming in the comments are probably the culprits that's reporting or mass reporting.
I blocked a couple people already.
Okay, good. It's kind of frustrating having this conversation because, again, like you said, people that claim they're leaders just seems to do a lot of finger pointing and blaming. So either you're the leaders or we're the leaders. Because if, like, you know what I mean, you can't have it both ways. And I agree. I'm 45 years old. I remember the evolution of hip hop, and there was a time period where there was more positive rap, but it wasn't cool to be like that. And I think even the culture outside of the degradation of women, it almost made a culture of being smart and intellectual was seen as corny, whack, and there will be Black men that's even in the suburbs trying to curate on hip hop culture and be gangsters, and it's now what's perceived to be Black culture, and hip hop culture goes hand in hand. And about the women rapping, and I'm confused of why they are now outraged by their rap lyrics when there was 30 years worth of rap lyrics over sexualizing Black women. So it's confusing. And
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like there are so many so explicit rap songs where back then that they said things that were just as bad as the ladies say now or even worse, and it was mentioned all with disrespect behind it, and they didn't have any issue with that. It's so weird. Like, but you want to talk about Meg Thee Stallion, like, or you know what I'm saying, Lotto or whoever. It's just weird. Super villain, go ahead.
Hey Trigger, good morning. First of all, let me thank you for making this space. You are doing nature's work. I give you all positivity. Y'all tap the screen up because this isn't an easy job. Trigger, I'm gonna say this before I even start. I give you a lot of credit because even trying to have a conversation with these guys, like they lie for no reason, no accountability, and just lies. Like when these dudes say good morning to me, I literally got to look up in the sky and make sure the sun is out because they just lie for no freaking reason. Okay, they and it's to the point to I don't know. Is it to save their ego? This is where I'm saying no accountability comes in because. And particularly to black men, you know it's all men for me, triggered, but particularly to black men, it's like they will lie to save their ego. At this point, if they talk about slavery, they'll say that it was like an all-inclusive one-way trip to the Americas just to save their ego at this time. Just no freaking accountability. They want to talk about sexy reds and all that, but my thing is like I remember my parents growing up listening to music like Let's Get It On, Sexual Healing. Like what happened to all that? They so consumed with 304 culture triggered. I'm really gonna need them to start with their mothers and their grandmothers. Because if they started passing out paternity tests, a lot of these dudes would be hurt right now. A lot of them. I'm just saying. And the way that they just even speak about black women, at this point, these dudes, they're like a white supremacist wet dream at this point. Like the way that they talk, I'm pretty sure there's like a sector of the KKK sitting somewhere listening to these panels and circle jerking. I literally, and if to be honest, I now call even black men now the new KKK. I call them the Ku Klux Klans because at this point, it is absolutely ridiculous. Um, I'm gonna yield there because I've been getting violations too, and I'm gonna protect alive. But I just wanna just let you know that I got your back, sis. You're doing Mother Nature's work, and I definitely appreciate you. I'm gonna yield
Thank
there.
you. Cause girl, I'm using my backup because my main page, I tried to talk about this and a lot of men came on there upset and in their feelings and reported it. And I have no idea why. Like there's nothing that I've said that hasn't been actually factual and historically accurate. But you know, yeah, but I don't even know if it was black men this time. A lot of times when you talk about white tea people, you know how TikTok be. They be trying to hate on you big time. And you may not even be saying anything negative. You may just be saying about your experience, but here they go. You know, even though people are allowed to talk about black people really badly with no consequences, no blocks, no bans, no, you know what I mean? But let me go.
Trigger, could I say something real quick
Yeah,
too? I'm
yeah.
sorry. And just to address a comment, yes, it has something to do with the topic. I said that y'all men are so consumed with 304 culture of the women today that if y'all had to do paternity tests on your fathers, y'all be very surprised at the behavior your mothers and grandmothers participated in. Yes, it has to do with the topic. So instead of being so worried about what the young girl is doing that's out of your league, you may want to go sit down and have a conversation with your mom and your grandma because your daddy and your granddaddy ain't your real pappy. Thank you. I yield, Trigger.
Okay. All right, let me go down here to Eddie. Go ahead, Eddie.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
B W. Um, I I really who is Really, I'm just coming from a place of not knowing who is Andrew Schulz.
Andrew Schultz is I think calling him a comedian is like overstepping, but that's what he calls himself. He also has a podcast. I don't know if you heard any of the TikToks where he went on his podcast or whatever and said that he would grape Kendrick Lamar if they were locked up behind bars and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Whoa. Oh, okay. I don't know about that's crazy. I never heard of it. But
It just recently happened.
okay. So I mean, I'm not gonna necessarily say what you're saying is wrong, but I will say like there's always a good and bad side to any community. And I feel like us as black people, we oftentimes highlight the worst of us. You know, we don't never give the people that are doing good enough credit because, like, even Charleston White was like, you know, when I had my bow tie on and I was going up at these city meetings and I was advocating for black folks, nobody paid him no mind. But when he gave everybody that persona of the ignorant nigga, everybody paid attention to him.
Yeah, you can't say the N word on here.
Oh, well, when he portrayed the ignorant persona, you know, everybody started paying attention. And I feel like us as black people, we need to like start to just focus on the people that actually are doing, you know, basically just we need to highlight more positive people versus just, well, because it would be crazy for me to say, oh, there are no good black women in the world, because that would be
Name 10 positive mainstream black male figures that you know that are in pop culture.
pop culture.
Yes, that are very popular that everyone knows about. 10.
But that's my point. I couldn't. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but that's not the fault of like whose fault does that resonate with? Because if black men are in charge of the culture, which they are indeed in charge of the culture that is specifically curated to black men and young black males that is influencing our future, that would be the fault of them for not pushing forth the positivity as what is popular, not pushing forward the rappers, the King Vons, all of these people as somebody to strive to, and then turning around and calling men that seem to really care about things, the women in their communities and stuff like that, like they calling the Russell Wilson's corny. I don't understand where you're coming from with this.
No, I mean, to be honest, women of every culture are in charge of culture. But, you know, we don't got to get too much into that.
How are women in charge of culture all over the world when there are women that can't even speak out loud outside their homes without being stoned to death? What are you saying?
So you said that if you was to speak out right now, you would be stoned?
No, I'm saying that there are women in other countries actively those things are happening to them.
So
Here in America, black women are the most excuse me, preyed upon demographic of women statistically. The most kidnapped, the most raped, the most unalived, all of these things, the most ex-trafficked. They've asked people why black women are the most ex-trafficked when they've caught people. They say because they perceive black women to not, they won't get as much trouble. So I'm not understanding where you think black women have any type of power in these scenarios,
I mean,
like where to change anything.
because you said, because if, like, realistically, you said King Von and somebody to strive for, but when King Von was unalived, you know, black women were the main ones saying, "Oh, you know, my crush, he got unalived," and you know, I mean, I've seen black
saying
women.
that King Von is attractive is not the same thing as actually trying to live a lifestyle like him, which many young black men do, or making music that will send black men down the wrong type of pathway for them to engage in this behavior, or pushing out this type of thing as pop culture as black men being violent criminals that are disrespectful to not only themselves but also the women in their community. That's not even equal in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I
But
don't I don't
but you know,
understand.
but you don't think that's kind of disingenuous, because if you find him attractive, like for example,
What does finding him attractive have to do
I
with
can
actually
I can
participating
let me
in the culture that is oppressing
but
black people?
let me explain it though, because every man in every race, culture, even species are always trying to make themselves attractive to the woman. Like even with peacocks, they dance and they
King Von was not unaliving black men. He was not terrorizing his community to get black women's attention. That is not what was going on. And that's disingenuous to say that. That has nothing to do with black women, the choices that these black men are making to unalive each other, to get involved in gang and criminality and robbing each other and doing all of these things. That has nothing to do with them trying to be attracted to black women, period. The people that started the whole idea of the criminality that is surrounded by black men right now are black men. NWA, like I said earlier, NWA, Tupac, Ice Cube, Ice-T, Too Short, Luke, and all of the other ones that preach extreme violence. None of that had to do with black women and them trying to be attracted to black women. I think that if that was the case, they wouldn't be calling black women 304s and luts and saying that they only good for getting on their knees. I don't think that's the way. I'm just gonna move forward, Eddie, because the conversation that we're having, that you're having, is a totally different conversation from what I'm having, and it doesn't make any sense.
I guess it's more of like I was
A
just trying
way
to
to put
come
the
I was
way to
just
put the
trying to come
blame
to a
on
place
women.
of understanding. I mean, I'm not saying just
No,
me.
that's what it
I'm
is, and
saying
it's what it is. It's a way for you to put the blame on women, and oftentimes, this happened in real time with the other guy that was here at the bottom without my armor. I think that black men have a very hard time. You say that accountability is the woman's kryptonite and all this other stuff, but I really think it's just projection. Because anytime I ever try to have any discussions about things that the whole world knows is the majority black men's fault, somehow y'all always come back around to trying to put it on the women. And that to me is very, very strange with men that are so obsessed with their masculinity, so obsessed with submission, so obsessed with telling women what to do and being the leader and head over them, supposedly, that y'all never take responsibility for the things that you directly have done. It just is mind-boggling to me. This is not a black woman issue. You know it, I know it, and to even speak from it from that lens is weak, respectfully. So let me just keep going. My Troy Felix, go ahead. I couldn't see your profile picture, so I don't know if you're a BM or not. But if you're not, drop. But I'll let you speak if you are. Go ahead, Troy Felix, if you're there.
Yo, what's up? I'm here.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I am black. That is me in the photo.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
So I'm not here to degrade black women at all. And I'm not here to say that black men don't. Not the majority, but like black men do have that because there is a culture with the rap thing going on. But I think Andrew Schulz got away with what he did because I think most times that black men that I know are misogynistic. That does come from like the oppression of the white men, and they assume that if they take that place, they can also have some type of oppression that they don't suffer from. And I think that genuinely the problem lies with white men as a whole. Because I know a lot of black dudes that are very secure, not misogynistic at all. I won't say that's the norm, but that's just the people I interact with. If I deal with someone who is like that a little bit, I don't really rock with them. So I say the whole thing is mostly like a patriarchal issue than it is like a black man, black woman issue.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm married to a black man, and he's 15 years. He's great, awesome, respectful, not misogynistic in any way. But I do think that one thing too, that in my associations with black men that were what you're talking about, they were not infected with the culture of the hip hop, rap, the gangster movies, all of that other stuff. Those were men that were deprogrammed or never were into that type of thing. Like men that were focused on gaming or focused on sports or focused on comics or nerds or stuff like that, in my opinion. So I do think that it's deeply connected to the certain culture that has been pushed forth by black men. And I think that has infected a large portion of the men in our community in some way. And the ones that don't behave like that have not been touched by that. But that's just my opinion in my association and the black men that I have met that I do feel like were decent and respectful. There's not a single black man that I've ever come across that was deeply into rap, deeply into gangster rap, that was respectful. And
Uh,
yeah, that's just what I've seen. I don't know if you can say that or not.
I, as a person who's also deeply into gangster rap himself and knows other people that have lived that life, I mean, genuinely, that's usually a bunch of people that are telling stories that are similar to people that are going through that. And if they glorify it, that's something they dealt with. Like if someone raps about selling drugs and shooting people up, they may have done that. And also, the people behind it are normally like white record label owners who want that glorified. If you wanted to sing something poetic, they might just veto that.
I think that that's kind of allowing people to get out from under it, because if you know that the things that you're going to say is going to influence a vulnerable demographic to thinking that certain things are okay, even if you're just telling your experience. Because even if you're just telling your experience, I remember T.I. did this interview where he said that you get a music video wearing chains, you got everything looking fly, you're talking about this and that and the third. That's going to glorify it to young, impressionable men, and that's going to make them want to do it. And if you say, oh, well, this is the only thing we can rap about, this is what they're telling us to do, this is the only way that we can get the money here in the rap, this is the only way they're going to allow us to speak, then you don't speak. Then you do something else. Then you go to school to be a doctor. You go to school to be an electrician. You go to trade school to be an electrician. You do something else. You don't do a rap. You don't become a rapper. And I think a lot of times people make it so mainstream to openly say that you sold out. And that you do have a choice. You don't have to be a sellout. You don't. It's a lot of things that I could do on my platform. This is my backup page. I could do on my main page that I know would get me paid. I could say certain things and I could, but I don't. So everybody has a choice on whether they choose to sell out or not. And I just can't give black men any passes for actively being the reason why a lot of men are in prison or in the grave right now to this day, because of the music they choose to make, because it lines their pockets. Because you can tell a story without glorifying it. You can tell a story and put in there, don't do this, don't be this way, this isn't the way to go, this is going to send you down a bad road. There's a lot of other ways to do it than glorifying it and saying, hey, you get on my nerves, you make me mad, I'm a pop you, I'm a pop you. You know what I'm saying? So I just can't give any grace for that. Super villain, you said you want to speak. Go ahead, sis.
Yes, thank you, Trigger. And I just want to bring it back to something Eddie had said earlier in his commentary when he was talking about, oh, we always talking about the bad things, but we never focus on the good people in our community. And this is what I mean about practicing what you preach. Eddie, can you name me three things in 2024, three accomplishments of black women, except for Kamala Harris running for president? Can you name me three? Since y'all want to focus on the good so much,
Do rappers count?
I'll take a rapper. I'll take one rapper because again, y'all also say that the music is harmful. So to use a rapper to me is contradictory. But I'll even take one. Go ahead.
I'm Beyonce for sure.
Beyonce's not a rapper, and that
Oh fuck! I was.
question was for Eddie. I thought Eddie responded
Oh
because
my
he's the one
bad.
who brought that up. And this is what I'm talking about, Trigger. I can give you three because I'm someone who actually doesn't only focus on the bad things in the community, but the good things. Number one, there are two high school girls in Louisiana who are changing the history of 4,000-year-old math by solving Pythagorean theorem. Number two, there's a woman right now who's trying to start a database, a national database for child abusers. You know how there's a database for sexual abusers? We don't have one for child abusers. It's a black woman spearheading that. Number three, it's a black woman and her son trying to start a unit in the police department for special needs calls. That's a black woman spearheading that because we know most times it's black men who are unalived with special needs because the police don't know how to interact with that type of population. Those are three things black women are doing this year alone. This is what I mean about practicing what you preach. So when you come up here and say, oh, we need to focus on the good, but you can't even name one thing that black women do, but y'all got a laundry list of things y'all don't like about rap music. Triggered. I'm just so done. How do we have genuine conversations? They don't even practice what they preach. I'm done.
But
I
you just
yield
did
to
a
you.
contradiction, ma'am.
Okay, just a second here. I'm gonna let Eddie respond to supervillain, and then I'll let Without My Armor respond. Go ahead, Eddie.
All right. There's one with the girl. She made a filter system. It basically, basically is like producing healthier air and basically like curing a lot of what is it called, respiratory problems. There's one, and then there's the one with the lady that basically has an app now because her son kept getting pulled over. She basically made an app that directly records it and sends it to the lawyer. So, and then there's one, well, basically black women as a whole have been being more college educated. So, that's good. I'm not really saying like, I don't have any hate or disdain for black women. I'm just saying that we just need to focus on the positives of our culture versus just, oh, well, let's focus on the futures and the King Vons. I'm just saying, like, why don't we ever talk about like, oh, I'm in a healthy marriage. Let me tell y'all about my experiences and, you know, show y'all the positives of black love. But I digress. I don't want to debate or argue with nobody. I just feel like as a culture, we need to start giving good people their props. That's all I'm saying.
All right. I want to also make sure that I'm gonna let Without My Armor respond, but I definitely want to stay on topic because I do want to talk about Andrew Schulz and the fact that he's able to move in the community and say and do a lot of things that's disrespectful to not only black women but black men too. Without any care, without any fear, without him thinking that he's gonna go outside and somebody's gonna press him or jack him up. It's because he doesn't respect black men, and neither does the entire world. And a lot of it is due to the fact that black men allow these type of things to go on. Just like while he was saying all these things, it was a black man right there on the couch, just kikiing. Go ahead, Without My Armor.
Super villain, I guess what she called herself, just did a contradiction. She said name 5 women, and she didn't name those 5 women. All she named is women who did accomplishments. You don't know the name of them.
Okay.
Name three
As far as
things. I
Andrew
said name
Schultz,
3 things.
you couldn't. You said 3 women, 3 women.
3 things that
No,
black
5.
women
No,
have
excuse me,
accomplished in
5 women.
2024.
And you couldn't name 5 women yourself. All you
I
did was
said
just.
3, and if I said 5, I
You couldn't
misspoke.
even
I
name
was
3.
giving him the opportunity to name 3.
You couldn't name 3.
Without
I
My
just
Armor.
named 3. What is he talking about?
I
You
don't
didn't
know.
name 3. You said these women, those women.
We're
You
not
didn't name 3 women. You
we're
don't
not
know the
doing
name of them.
semantics here. Without My Armor. What is your please tell me what you have to say about the topics on the screen. Like
For
pick
as
one.
Andrew Schultz, I guess some of you don't follow his comedy.
You think it was
He
comedy?
talk
You think it was
what?
comedy?
Yes, it's comedy.
So
He
you
don't
thought
just
you
do black people. He does all
Okay,
races.
I don't care if he does all races. I don't give a doggone what he do when it comes to anybody else. What I care about is him disrespecting black people. You think it's comedy
But
for him
we
to
do it
say?
all the
Do you
time.
think it's comedy that he would say that he would put a black man's legs in the air and grape him if they was in jail? Is that funny? If that's comedy, what part of that made you
Okay, so when black people
roll
do
over
it,
and
is it
laugh?
comedy?
What part of that? I'm asking you a question. What part of that statement made you laugh? What part of it was
I didn't
funny?
see it, so I can't give that
No,
statement.
I
I
just
haven't
gave you
seen
what
it.
he said. This is what he said. So is that funny to you? Is that funny?
What?
Him saying that he would take Kendrick Lamar if they were in jail or prison, that he would grape him, put his legs in the air and grape him, and there's nothing he could do about it. Is that funny to you?
It depends on how he said it
Okay, so
and
the
what
fact that
content.
you think that a white T man with the history of how things have gone with black men historically in this country with buck breaking and everything else, if you think a man sitting there saying that he will grape a man is funny, there's something wrong with you mentally, and you need to check
Black
it
men do
and
that
figure
as
it out.
well.
You need to check it and figure it out. Is something wrong with you, bruh?
No,
Some
black
things
men
are not
does it
funny.
well
Just
as
what if he
well.
said, "Hey, I believe in touching kids"? That's a heart. Would that be funny? Like, what's wrong with you? Like I just
No, it's the fact that you people want to play the
you people
victim
nothing. You're an
Olympics all the
embarrassment.
time,
You're
right?
an embarrassment, and you sound to be at least 50. You are too
You are
respectfully too
embarrassment,
damn old to be
and
this
you old,
stupid. You're too damn old to be this
old
stupid.
too.
Too damn old to be this stupid. I'm not 50, and I'm not stupid, but you are, and you too damn old to be this stupid. Now I sit there and ask you a pointed question about, do you think that's funny? You talk about it depends on how he said it. That just let me know you be the first one in line to pull your pants down and get bent over by somebody because you just that weak and you a punk. Do better. Like, honestly. And this is what I'm saying is that it's so many men in our community that are weak, suckers, busters, power bottoms, that's why we can't get nowhere in the community. But y'all want to come up here and yell and scream and bucket black women like you want to get real smart with supervillain, have a lot of masculine energy for me too, but you'll let a white man talk about playing with your bum. You see what I'm saying? Weak Negro behavior. And until we can get y'all out of here, there's no way we're gonna be able to do anything. Like I said, it's just embarrassing. Like, honestly, you know what, you said she's crashing out. Let me tell you something, sir. I am very passionate about the state of the black community. As much as there are a lot of women that have completely decided to separate from black men and just say, hey, we're just two different groups. I refuse to do that because no matter how much black women want to separate themselves, we cannot. We are connected and it will always be that way, no matter whether we like it or not. You know what I'm saying? When two people come together, two black people, there's either going to be a black male born or a black female born. There's no way to separate us being interconnected or tied in some way. So I choose to still talk to black men, and talking to some of y'all is absolutely depressing because y'all lack emotional intelligence. Y'all lack regular intelligence to even comprehend the things that are being said. You come in very aggressive, very downright, I guess, angry / disrespectful to women. But when you're speaking to another male, you take the bass out your voice. And when speaking to a white male, you take everything out your voice and pull your pants down and open your mouth wide. And it's very scary and
I
disturbing
didn't
to
do none
me.
of that.
I just can't do it. It's very embarrassing. Any black man making excuses for Andrew Schulz, you're a sucker. You're weak, and
Oh, is
I
that
don't
what I'm
respect
supposed
you
to
under
do
that.
here? I didn't come here to make excuses for Andrew Schulz. I only wanted to defend black women and black men.
Defend him from what? What were you defending him from? Because I didn't say anything other than the facts, and I didn't say all black men or all black women or any type of
Of
way. So
course.
what
No,
did you
yeah, yeah.
want? So what did you
I,
want to defend him from?
I just wanted to say, in context of the original video, like it was a moment of like these people are trying to make comedic podcasts and shit, and someone who's in a much higher position than him and is white says something out of context. Like there's a lot of celebrities who've gone through that where somebody will say something out of pocket, and you can't just like crash out because then they're going to start blaming you and blackballing you. They're like, you're going to be hard to work with. You're going to be an aggressive, bossy black man as a black woman.
I don't understand what you're saying. Are you saying that are you know about the Andrew Schultz situation, right? Because I know
I
Eddie
do.
said he did. You do. So
I do.
you're saying, what are you saying? You're saying that the black man that was on the couch, he didn't say anything because of what? Is that what you were saying?
I saw the original video that he had where he was like, hey, what's up with the white men glow up? Why do they grow those beards? Is it because of the black woman being them? That's the original video that I saw with Andrew Schultz. The other one got popular after Kendrick alluded to a line of him saying, like, no white comedian should ever talk on black women. I completely agree with that.
Okay. I mean, all I know is that the simple fact that Andrew Schultz has a platform to where any black man would be willing to come on. Anyone would be willing to come on and have a discussion with him moving forward. There's something wrong with you as a black man. Like you're completely conquered and broken, and I would have zero respect for you. Charlemagne, I have no respect for him as well. Any black man that aligns himself with a man that is clearly disrespecting them and is looking down on them and is saying things that he would love to say openly to your face, but is veiled under the veil of comedy, because nothing that he says is funny. So it's just like, where's the joke at? The joke is that the joke's on you, that I can say all of these things to you that are disrespectful and that are racist, because a black person couldn't say half the things about his culture and say that it was a joke and not be blackballed. So ask yourself why that is. And you participating in that as a black man, if you do participate in that, is weak behavior and it shouldn't be excused. Period. And it's funny because Andrew Schulz has shown that he will not allow black men to speak about white tea women in certain ways on his platform. And black men never make that connection, like, he doesn't let me do this, but he's completely comfortable in doing it to me. That's just something that is conquered behavior. And the excuse of it and the rationale of it, or saying that you need to defend black men for this type of behavior, is part of the reason why this behavior will never go, because it's indefensible.
I think I misunderstood.
Yeah, because I don't know what you were defending, because
I'm not here to defend Andrew Schulz at all.
Yeah, then I don't know what you mean, because I don't know what I could have said that made you think that you needed to defend black men. I don't know.
I don't think black men leave the door open for that kind of thing, because the original thing that happened, it's just like he did it. He felt comfortable doing that.
Oh, okay.
Because
So
he has a white platform.
So you don't think that black men opened the door for disrespect against black women? So you don't think that black men first started the disrespect and degradation of black women in one of the most popular genres of music in the entire world? You don't think that when you have a million different podcasts of black men going on and saying how terrible black women are and how great other races of women are for the whole world to see right in public, you don't think that
Those
opens
men
the
get
door for
clowned on by the
disrespect?
general public.
That it doesn't get frowned on by the general public. The general public tends to gravitate towards it, which is the reason why Kevin Samuels, even though he's been unalived in the ground for quite a while, he still has over 1 million followers. I
feel pretty sure it's just a very loud minority. Like, if I go outside and talk to a regular person, I'm like, how do you feel about this? They're like, yeah, that's weird. I'm like, okay, you're a regular person.
I disagree, but I'm gonna move forward and let somebody else speak. I just think that, yeah, I don't agree with you. Ja, go ahead, and then Shireen next. Go ahead, Ja.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention one of the, I guess number 3 says rap culture built on the degradation of black women. And as we're finding out now, all industries have been built on the exploitation of children. So and another thing is, we live in a time where it's being exposed, all the evils that have been happening to children all over the world, but black men and black women are every day talking about nonsense. Like all of this feuding between one another, instead of being solution minded and solution based, I don't see what good is it going to do. Like,
Is
this
this
is
not solution
nonstop every
based?
day.
Is this not solution based? Do you not need to have conversations and discourse about what's going on? Don't you need to expose
Absolutely,
that
you do,
first?
but
Then what's not
we don't.
solution based
But
here?
we understand the past, right? We don't need to consistently tear one another down to prove a point or to appease the ego.
Who tore somebody down? What are you talking about?
I'm just talking about, and I'm just making a general statement. Every
Oh,
day on TikTok, there's panels about the divide between black men and black women. But like, as I mentioned, we're in a time where it's being exposed, the horrors that have been happening to children, but we're still worried about black adults. Meanwhile, our children are unprotected.
okay. You know what? Young black girls are ex-trafficked the most in America. Do you know who's doing that? It's black men statistically. So what do we have
Listen,
to discuss about?
I'm gonna
So
say, just like
if you're
this.
concerned about the kids, then why don't you go somewhere
Listen,
and talk to
listen.
black men and say, hey,
Can I just say, historically,
no. This is my live. If you don't like it, you can go. As I was saying, if you care about the state of the community and you care about the kids and you care about what's going on, why don't you talk about that? That's something that's a huge problem in the black community. Would you consider black women saying, hey, you know what? Black men are trafficking us. Black men are forcing us to be on the track. They're forcing us to do such and such things. They're kidnapping 10 and 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds and doing these things. This is a statistical fact now. This isn't my feelings. So why are we not talking about that? Like, it's just like every time somebody has a conversation about black men where it's actually getting to the root of something, it's always y'all come on here talking about, oh, let's not talk about that. Let's be solution based. Well, where's the solutions? Because I don't see black men doing anything out there on a major basis. Half the social organizations, the social movements that have been curated and started have been with black women. Even when you talk about Black Panthers and things like that, underneath there were so many black women that were doing so much assisting while being raped and abused and disrespected all at the same time. So really, what are you saying? Like, let me just keep going forward. Because like I said, it's very difficult to have these conversations because it's always a black man. It's already been 3 right now that always attempt to shift the focus and not talk about it. And essentially, you don't mean solution-based. What you mean is you want black women to shut up and not talk about the things that black men are doing. Let me just keep going. Because statistically, once again, the who's causing the problems in the black community, who's committing the majority of the crimes, the majority of the robberies, the majority of the unalivings, the majority of the rapes, the majority of everything are black males. So what are we really talking about? And that's a fact. That's not my feelings. It's the truth. It's crazy. Let me just keep going. Shireen, and me stating facts is not tearing black men down. And I really need y'all to understand that because y'all will come on here and talk about black women's lashes and wigs and weaves and the fact that you think they're too masculine and they won't let you tell them what to do while they're going 50-50 with you. And you will expect women to accept that as constructive criticism and accept that as though he's just trying to help me out and tell me the truth. But when somebody comes and tells the truth about what's really going on in the community, that's fact-based, then all of a sudden, I'm tearing black men down. I'm not tearing black men down. Now, maybe you may be a hit dog hollering. You might be the type of black man that fits what I'm saying, but I'm not tearing black men down at all. Go ahead, Shireen Hoppins.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. One, thank you for having this. So I can't speak for everybody else, right? However, me personally, I grew up with the boys. I've been a tomboy. I played all the sports and I've watched and listened to kids, mainly the men, their conversations from a very young age on up to today. Now, whatever you're expecting black men to do, let it go. They're not. That's not who they are. Okay, they kiss ass. They're waiting for the person who they believe at the top to give them the pat on the back and say, yeah, you one of the boys, you one of the men, you one of the stronger ones. So that whole Andrew Schulz, I mean, anybody who's actually watched the clips in real time, you've seen it on their faces. Even if they wanted to say something, they're never going to speak up towards mommy and daddy. They are little kids in grown bodies. That's how men operate. They need the other men to approve their manhood. As for number 2, with black women opening up the door for disrespect against black women, unfortunately, black women have played into it. Yes, black men may have started it, but a lot of black women, in order to get their money, their trinkets, their whatever, I got this one man protecting me and y'all aren't protected, they are okay with it. There are mothers who are okay with their sons dogging out little girls. And how do we fix it? Because it's one thing for us as a group of women to say, oh, hey, yeah, we're together and we want to work on it. But there are a bunch of other women who get into the huddle and they're not a part of the solution either. They're going to go home and they're going to allow their boys to do all of the things that harm black women. The rap culture, the rap, at the end of the day, whatever people like is what the companies are going to continue to sell, right? If I dislike the scent of lavender, but everybody buys lavender. So every time I go into a store, it's lavender and maybe one other thing that I might like. And if you look at rap in that aspect, that's why we have the shitty music that we have today. The men liked it. Okay, and even the women, because I mean, we was loving some Luke, some Two Live Crew, and unfortunately, Superhead was one of the main women that decided I want to go out there and be as naked as possible. Like it doesn't necessarily matter who started
You
it,
got
because at
60
the end of the day,
seconds,
and no,
Shireen.
I'm sorry.
You got 60 seconds, Shireen. I'm gonna try to give everybody 2 minutes so they can speak.
No worries. But like my big issue is, yes, men may have started it, but women have picked up the mantle and they full-fledged, they raise their kids to believe it. That's the reason why the daughters, and I'm an oldest daughter. That's why I've strayed so far over to my side. I'm not doing the work that these boys can sit in the house and make a mess of, and it's my job to clean. It's okay for them to make the mess and I got to clean it. Our moms are showing us that stuff. So today, where we are in 2024, regardless of the 80s and the 90s, the women are perpetrating it now. So we have to figure out how to dismantle it from the mindset of the women who are raising the next generation. We need to make sure that the boys don't believe it, and we need to do enough to make sure that the men of the community don't come in and change our boys. We need to make sure that our boys' minds are so cemented that when they see it outside, they're like, no.
All right. Okay. All right, Shireen. Let me keep going. Some things that you said I agree with. Some things you said I didn't. Let me go forward though to William Reed. Go ahead, William Reed.
Good morning. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
I can't complain. Just stumbled across this conversation. I am a manager. I run a management company called Top Tier Artist Management. Manage several rappers and producers, specifically in like the gangster rap genre of music. So I figured I could offer a perspective of someone like from within the industry, since I see one of the prompts is like rap culture built, whatever that says. It's kind of blocked from the square. So, but yeah, I just wanted to offer that extra perspective. So I just kind of want to listen right now until like it's time for me to chime in.
Okay. All right, William. All right. So let me go up here to B22.
So you want me to go down the panel?
You can if you want. It's up to you. Whatever you want. If you want to, you can choose which one, or you can go down the line. It's up to you.
All right. I did see the clip of the Andrew Schulz situation and what he said about Kendrick, about replying to Kendrick and everything. I just seen a couple clips. I didn't see the whole video. I planned on looking at it soon. But what I did want to say was basically I'm assuming that it's our fault that he was disrespecting black women and Kendrick spoke up about it, right? And now y'all saying it's our fault.
No, that's
For allowing.
not what I'm saying at all. What I was saying is that
No, I wasn't saying you. I was saying because I had heard her say something like we kissed the white man ass or something like that when I had just joined. So I'm trying to like gain context.
no, okay. I said some of that. I said that black men opened the door for disrespect against black women by doing it for the world to see, encouraging others to be involved in it, not checking other people that do it. Also having black men joining in with people that are known disrespecters of the culture, oversteppers, say things that are out of pocket, trying to get ahead, tap dancing, shucking and jiving, being something that rhymes with a cartoon. Yes, absolutely. Our culture is only strong as the men and what they do to step behind it. The reason why Andrew Schulz felt comfortable enough to say what he said about Kendrick, the reason why he feels I saw a clip of Andrew Schulz and Charlemagne, and they had these black women on the panel, and they were talking about how they felt like nobody listened to them as black women. They said they felt like, well, every time I try to say how I feel to a black man, he turns around and tells me that I need to be quiet, I'm being masculine, or I'm nappy headed. All of a sudden, Charlemagne says, well, you guys have relaxers. And they didn't. They had like, one girl had some braids, another girl had a silk press or something. And they were like, no, we're all natural. And Andrew Schulz was just cracking up and laughing and all in the camera and all of these. What I was saying is that a man like Andrew Schulz is only able to exist with the hand holding or the acceptance of black men to let him in those spaces. Because if somebody whipped his ass, You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't do this. If somebody saw him in public and beat the stank out of him or did something else, he would think twice, or somebody Chris rocked him. He wouldn't do these things that he does. So he's able to do these things with the
I
acceptance
mean,
of black men. That's
I
what I'm
kind
trying to say.
I kind of get what y'all saying when y'all say that, right? But then you gotta think like, look at the color of his skin. He falls into that category of small hats. Look. If that's the case, we might as well just start the war right now. Then, if that's the case,
If black
y'all trying
men
to
can
put the
easily
blame on
I'm
us.
sorry, I just want to say one thing. I'm sorry. I just want to say that if you have a culture of black men that have no problem busting the cap on each other, y'all get mad at you doing this, you doing that, and the third, I'm gonna take you out, I'm gonna go pull out the blick, I'm gonna do this and that,
Nah,
I'm gonna beat you up. If
that's
we
a different topic. That's a different
those but
topic.
there's a culture of men that are like that exist,
Yeah,
that are
we
listening
do
to the
got
things
men. We
that
do got
Andrew.
men like that in the
So that's
culture.
what
I'm
I'm
not knocking
saying.
that.
Those men never attack anyone except for each other and other black women. They never attack anyone else,
Nah,
and that's
I
the
can't.
problem.
The men.
Tell
I
me
mean,
who. Well, tell me who. Where have you heard of these men and that are in these organizations attacking people that don't look like them,
what you
that
talking
violate?
about in organizations, or you talking
Are you?
about?
Yeah. When you say organization, do you mean like
Yeah.
I can't
gangs?
say certain things on TikTok. You
All
know what
right.
I'm
So if you
saying?
talking about in those, like, as far as that, I mean, it depends and it varies. Is you got your smart ones and you got your dumb ones. Everybody that's in the organization isn't dumb. Everybody that's in the organization isn't walking around with a firearm.
I
Everybody that's
mean,
in
they
the
don't have,
organization
nobody has any problem
isn't
in any of those
disrespectful to
organizations
females.
hurting other people. They don't have any problem hurting people that look like them. That's what I'm saying. If statistically, the majority of the harm that they are putting out in the world is against people that look like them. Why is that?
Well, it's a proximity thing. I mean,
It's
I
not
will
just
say that.
proximity either, because there are other people that overstep. What about when other people of demographics, like police officers and all these other things, do things? Nobody steps and does anything to those people, but they're quick
It's
to step
the
against
reason
somebody
I
that looks
say
like them.
the reason I say it's a proximity thing is and it's a lack of education, because I mean at the end of the day, like if you're referring to like street organizations, these people aren't the smartest people in the world, and they did not grow up with good resources, so they're not going to turn out to be
So
Black Panther
then
It's a bunch of hurt
let's talk
people trying
about
to
the
come
black men
together
that
and
are
build.
educated, the black men that get on these platforms and engage with somebody like Andrew Schulz. Let's talk about that. Why are these men doing it? Why is the men that is like
Because
Charlemagne
those is the
having a
ones.
podcast with a
Charlotte,
man
we are
that
not a
has
monolith.
anti-black
Charlemagne the
rhetoric?
God does not represent black men as a
But
whole. Charlemagne the
he's
God could
on
be
a
a
radio
clown.
There
station
are so
talking
many black
home.
men that it's upsetting to have a conversation and y'all play dumb, like y'all don't know that this is something that happens a lot in your real life, your everyday
So I
life,
got a
and
question.
also
Wait, I got a question. Do you think the average black man the average black man that's not that you don't see, the ones that's not sitting next to Andrew Schultz, do you think they agree with Andrew Schultz and Charlamagne the God, like they way of living and the stuff that they doing? Do you think the average
There's
black
been an
man?
uproar after what Andrew Schultz
I
said from black
think
men.
that the majority of the black men that even came on this panel were cool with it, that were just
That's
here. And I
crazy.
think that is definitely a large population of black men are cool with that. And we can see that by the things that go on in the community and in the culture. I don't understand how y'all can act
What do
like
See,
you
y'all
but
don't
that's another
understand.
thing.
So what do you
Man,
mean
I'm not
by
about
what
to
do you
have
mean
a
by
double
the
team conversation with y'all. I'm gonna let B22 finish his conversation, and then I'm gonna go up here to Toy,
All
and then
right,
I'll go
wait.
back down
All
and let
right,
everybody else speak.
cause look, me being that's a look. When y'all talk about that rap culture and y'all talk about that, do y'all do know it's a specific kind of other melanated people that they target and they put into these positions to be industry plants to bring down our demographic of people, right?
B22, I looked at your profile. You said that you're a future music mogul. What type of
Yeah,
music do you make?
I started off as a rapper. You can say that I started off as a rapper.
What
But when
music?
you
What type of music?
but when you start doing more
What
research on
type of
yourself,
music? What type of music?
I just told you I started off as a rapper, but I
Yeah,
do not
what type of
classify
rap?
myself to make
Drill
one
rap?
kind of music.
What type of rap?
No,
Conscious
no,
rap?
it's
What were you saying? Give me a name of one of your
just
songs.
look. So I rap, I
What's
rap,
give me a song name?
I rap.
What song? Give me a song name, a title of a song that you made.
Overlapped them.
Okay, what's overlapping them?
It's basically basically like how I got overlooked, and then when I finally got into position to overlap other people that was in the rap industry or people that was in the same category of how we would get placed. But that's not the point, neither here or there. The point of me bringing all this up was to say, right, when you talk about the rap culture and the people who say these kind of things, who put this kind of narrative about people and stuff like that, or the drill culture, do you not know half of the people that created the drill culture is African, or they come from some other descent, not of Black Americans and what Black Americans stand for? See, you can't say everybody follows the drill
I
culture
can
if
tell
everybody
you
don't follow
10
the drill
drill
culture.
rappers right now that are in the ground that are Black American. What are you really saying? Like that this is just like I said, this is all just excuse making. We
That's
can
not
talk
true.
about the
So
beginning of the
so I got a
genre,
question.
gangster
So
rap.
I got a
Who
question.
was that started
You
by?
got Central
Gangster
C.
rap.
You
What we
got
got?
Central C.
NWA.
Look,
Drill rap was created in Chicago.
I know exactly where drill rap was created. Yeah, where when we
So you
talk
can't.
about
So I'm speaking. I'm speaking to B22. You can't say that was created by African when it was created in
no, I'm
Chicago.
saying I didn't say that. No, that's I'm saying, bro. That's pushing the agenda now, bro. You got to look at who's pushing the agenda and what they're pushing, bro. It's only but so many Black Americans that's really helping push the agenda. People like Sexy Red, and I don't like. I think she
I don't,
full
you
blood
know
black.
what? I don't want, look, I don't even want to talk about a sexy red. I don't want to talk about a sexy red. I don't want to talk about a Megan Thee Stallion. I don't want to talk about none of
But
that.
this is but you talking
No, no,
about the
no, because
drill
that has
culture.
nothing to do with what is going on in the Black community. What has twerking, what has sexy red done to actually affect the real lives of young Black girls going to prison, going to jail, being in the ground? You would need to address Black culture, gangster rap music way before you would address a sexy red. I'll be damned if you discuss a sexy
She
red
don't make
before you
gangster rap.
address anybody,
She don't make
NWA,
drill
Ice
rap.
Cube, any of that.
She don't make AB music.
Oh my goodness. So give me the stats that show that the Black women that are listening to Sexy Red are going down the road of criminality and unaliving the Black men in their area and terrorizing their
Bro,
Okay, well,
communities
if
they
just
I
like
are
may,
the
if
Black
I
men
may,
that
unaliving
are
because
influenced by
babies.
it.
Is that not? Is that, bro? Come on,
What?
man.
Wait,
I'm done.
didn't
I'm
Sexy
done. I'm
Red
done.
have a
if
I'm
I
done.
may,
concert
if
I'm
I
at
done.
may,
an
I'm
elementary
done. You're not
school?
about to gaslight me on my own platform about this. That bush. You know the deal. You know what is causing the real disconnect and what's happening with Black men in the community, which is directly affected by a lot of the music and the entertainment that they consume, that they put in their mind, the glorification of violence and the glorification of criminality. And it's not a sexy red. Beefing for real. And a sexy red couldn't be here without a Luke. A sexy red couldn't be here without a Jay-Z putting on a Foxy Brown that was a minor, speaking all type of nasty lyrics that she shouldn't have been even saying in her age. A sexy red couldn't exist without a Lil Kim being put on by a Notorious B.I.G. who they said wrote all her raunchy lyrics where she was talking about this, that, and the third. So please stop acting like you
So
don't
how was that
understand
Black
where
men
any of this
fault?
is coming from.
How
All of
was
this
that
is
Black
coming
men
from,
fault when
and
the
it's built off
when
the
the
backs
YT
of
man owned the
the
record labels?
situation of Black men and the culture that they have
But
curated.
the Black
And I don't
men
want to
don't have
talk
a
about it.
choice in
Please get
who
off
you
my
listen.
platform. You're ashy, you're stupid, and I'm not going to talk to you
No,
at
no,
all.
no. Oh,
Like,
can I say something? Can I
I
answer
gotta
that?
go forward. I gotta let this toy person speak.
if I may, because
And
I
I gotta let this toy person speak. I really don't even want to hear any more comments from Black men. It's just disgusting to me because y'all do nothing but deflect. I will give y'all very real things that y'all can check and research that are definitely, there is a correlation between the culture that Black men have curated and encouraged to the direct behavior of the way Black men are acting today, and y'all coming up here making all these excuses. It's just disgusting. Honestly, y'all wonder why it's time and time again y'all say, oh, the Black man can't get nowhere, the Black man is the least employed, the Black man is the least this and that. It's because y'all refuse to think about what is happening and how it is affecting your futures and your outcomes. It's ridiculous. There's a reason why Black men, whatever race of woman they get with, the woman has an increased chance of becoming a single mother and doing things that's on their own. There's a reason why Black women are the breadwinners in a lot of their homes, or even co-breadwinners where there's a Black man in a home. There's a reason why Black women are the most employed and Black men are the least employed male. There's a reason why there is so much crime and unalivings happening between Black men that so many people want to call it a health epidemic. There's a reason for these things. And the fact that y'all pretend that y'all don't know, I just don't get it, and it's just insane to me. And I'm gonna let Toy speak. Let just go ahead, Toy, and I'm gonna go ahead and block a few of y'all in the comments. Just know y'all about to get blocked. Go ahead, Toy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have to, like, with the Andrew Schultz situation, I think it's a sad thing to have a white tea man talking about raping a black man, or buck breaking, basically. And to have a black man sit up there and laugh at it. I understand some people don't know how to separate, what is a rap battle or a beef from what is going on here. And he has used that as an excuse to say egregious things, not only towards black women, but towards black men. And for some reason, black women could clock it, but some black men just don't want to clock this. We could clock the BS or the racism that this man is spewing, and he's trying to guise it in joking, because that's the thing. It's a joke. It's funny. DJ Academic was the first person to post about this. And you know what's funny about DJ Ac? He was crying to Whack 100 when a gay black man said, if you ever come to Atlanta and I'm going to grape you. And then turn around and throw up Andrew Schultz and start laughing at this. Like, oh, it's funny because y'all want to focus on the simple fact that Kendrick bested Drake. Instead of, even if he was talking about Drake at this point, I would be upset. He's still talking about graping black men and still talking bad about black women. But black men are the only ones, the ones that sit up there on Charlemagne and the ones that sit up there with him laughing are allowing this to happen. But yes, I have seen black men on TikTok speak about this and saying how they don't like it. But one thing is, how come y'all not going to YouTube? How come y'all not going to these podcasts and saying he needs to be off? This is not right. He said he was going to essay someone. If you look in the background of this person, then it says a lot about Andrew Schultz. But stop allowing white tea men, guys, racism and sexism and all this stuff behind jokes, because it's not funny. It's not funny.
Academics
Okay.
actually spoke up and like said the same thing. Like he did.
Okay.
Academics did speak up.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and move forward. Go ahead, all praises. Thank you for that, Toy. Go ahead, all praises.
Hello, everybody. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Well, I think it's more to it than that. This has been going on for generation after generation. I'm a little older. And I noticed that back in my generation, they had people like Too Short, Two Live Crew, things of that nature, where Too Short was very popular among black men, and he would always make videos about unaliving and SA women and killing them and doing like, it was particularly black women. This has been going on for so long, from my understanding, for the research that I've done since the 1400s of the black men selling out their own kind. It's one thing that you got to remember. Let me say this: the first thing it's one thing that the first the degradations of the community was saturated and brought to black men when they claim to be the leaders of the community. If you're over the leader of the community, why don't you take responsibility when your leadership has failed? No one wants to address that. There is you guys are going in this cycle, and it's getting worse and worse. And the only people that's benefiting from this is the people that are oppressing us. You're playing right into their hands. If you claim to be the leaders of community, then why don't you take some initiative? And when these guys come out here degrading your women and your children and living up to stereotypes just for economic gain, financial gain, why don't you counter that? Why don't you go against that instead of sitting here making excuses and arguing with this woman for bringing out facts and the truth? We all have eyes to see and ears to hear. I'm just trying to understand, what is the problem? Why is it always you guys get on here like a pack of wolves going after the women who are saying, hey, this is what's going on? And they said that we used to live in a woman dominated system. But now all of a sudden you're in the patriarch system. Every time the woman says something, there's all these stereotypes, but taking responsibility as grown men that you claim to be. I just would like to have answers to that. And I wish you would stop making excuses. And when you see these guys come up here and do this, no other community, no other nation goes for this but Black community. And why is it almost every Black community is saturated with degeneracy? And there's Black men there under the Black men's watch. They say if you are in charge and your women and the people that you're over, if they mourn, then you have to look at the leadership. And stop thinking as individuals. We have to start thinking as a community like we used to do.
All right.
That's all
Okay.
I wanted to say.
Okay. All right. All praises. All right. Let me go up here to I'll give everybody 2 minutes so that they can speak. Let me go up here to Caramel Mermaid, and then I'll go
Sis,
to 85.
skip me.
Caramel Mermaid.
Sis, skip me. I'll be back.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let me go up here to 85.
I want to answer what All Praises said. I think that you are giving a skewed version of history. If you go throughout history, Black men have been the inventors, the innovators, the conquestors. If you look at Juan Garrido, before all
What's a
people,
conquester?
we're the ones that actually sailed over here and conquered the lands. Juan Garrido was here 100 years before any European.
Okay, I got you. You're
So
uneducated. Have a great day. You was already saying stupid stuff in the comments. You didn't even say the word. I know what word that were you looking for conquistador? Get out of here. You're already
Hey,
uneducated. I'm not.
And
Yeah,
who has
that's
it
what I'm
now?
saying. Like you just sound ridiculous.
can
I
I
can't even
And
respect
who
you.
has it now?
can
Who
I
has
touch
all
on
of it
something
now?
All Praises said earlier?
Who is that? William Reed,
That's
or
it's
who is
Eddie.
that? Eddie. Which one of you? Which
It's
one of
Eddie.
you?
Hey,
All right. Yeah.
you said that you said as a now correct me if I'm wrong, but you said that as grown Black men, why don't we see the stereotypes and try to like basically give a better representation, like basically like change the stereotype for the better? Am I getting that right?
My exact words was, when you see these things going on in general, why don't you counter that and shut it down? I see every nation from Caucasians to Latinos. If you talk about their women and do the things you do in their community, you will not be here. That's what I said.
So can I ask you a question? Do you know who King Randall is?
Enlighten me.
He's basically like doing what Umar Johnson has been trying to do for years. Like he actually started an organization to help young Black boys. Like he actually adopts them and teach them trades and like basically educates them on how to like navigate through America.
Okay, so now can I comment on that? Can I
Go ahead.
respond to that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll give you guys 1 minute each, and then I'm gonna go up to the person that I just added.
Okay, so yeah, I never did say that you guys are not doing anything. I'm talking about enough. Over 50. I'm talking when I say
As a collective.
doing anything, it's over 50% where it's effective, where when you go in any neighborhood, you see it. See, you notice you have to tell me about it. When you're doing 50 or more percent of what you need to do, then no one has to ask. It's obvious. That's the point.
Because you're uneducated. That you don't know about King Randall.
Hey, Prime News. Don't.
You know what? You
Hey,
know
hold
what?
on,
You know
Crown.
what?
Wait,
I'm not
let her
gonna
go.
get
Let her
into.
go.
I'm not gonna get into foolishness with you. But I'm about solutions. And if you want to get up here and throw stones,
Foolishness with me.
find
Hey,
somebody else
Prime
to
News.
debate that.
If
Okay?
you
You're a
mute
fool.
yourself again, I'm gonna drop you. All right, because you already sound ashy. So chill out. All right. Were you done? Praises. Okay. Did you have any response, like a 1 minute response to her, Eddie?
Yeah, I just want to say two more things. The first one is
You got a minute.
earlier earlier I heard that Charlemagne was a monolith, but why is it that whenever a positive Black man do something, he's not the monolith for us? And the
Nobody
second
said that
thing,
Charlemagne was a monolith. Who said that? Nobody.
Well, that's what that's just what
No
I
one
maybe I
has listened to
Can
misinterpreted.
I
him.
can I respond to that,
Well,
please?
he said he got one more thing to say, Praises.
Oh,
Go
I'm
And
ahead,
sorry.
I
Eddie.
got one more thing. So and I know how y'all feel about Kevin Samuels, but I just before he started talking about women, he was like on black men, like
And
really hard.
nobody paid attention to him. I hate it when y'all use that. Nobody paid
No,
attention
but
to Kevin Samuels. No black men was checking for him. No black men was supporting him. No black men were sharing his videos. No black men cared about Kevin Samuels at all. He has
And
a
he
whole
also had
video
three
well,
where
baby
I just
mamas
he
want
has a
to.
too.
video where he literally says, hey, you know what? I could be talking about black men, but I talk to black men, but if I talked about black women, I probably could get a bigger following. And that's exactly
But
what he did. He
but
didn't
I
blow
just
up until you're mediocre, whatever he said, you're a 3 at best, whatever that video is, where he tore that black woman to pieces because he
but
didn't
I
find
just
her attractive. So what are you
I mean
talking
I
about?
get what you I get
But
what
you
you're
just
saying,
proving her
but
point
the point
though.
I was trying to make is like, why didn't y'all come to our defense?
What? That is a black
Okay,
man,
so
and he
who have
was
been
not
marching
saying
on the front
anything. What?
line for
That
black
is the
men?
dumbest thing I could ever say. That's the
Who
dumbest
been marching on the
response
front
possible.
lines?
What?
You're not marching on the front lines, Keisha. You're not doing
Oh, wait
that.
a
You know
minute. Let
what?
me
You're
drop you,
twerking
You're
on the
an
front
Crime.
idiot.
line.
You're an
Crime.
idiot. Your mother
Hold
should.
on.
Your
Hold on.
mother should.
Crime, whoever you are, I just dropped you. The fact that I guess you're a black man, that you want to call black women on here Keishas. Now, if somebody called you a Tyrone and said that you be in prison soon, being somebody's big
Yeah, that's
bottom,
crazy.
power bottom bunk buddy, you would be upset by that. If I told you, hey, that you're a black man, that means you must be broke and uneducated and foolish, and you must not be able to read, seeing as though black men have the lowest literacy rates, you would say that I was being racist and stereotypical. I have no idea why a lot of times y'all feel like y'all can be racist towards black women and those things don't apply to you. All the stereotypes about being ghetto and being this and that apply right to your black behind too. That is once again a conquered white supremacy mindset where you feel like you want to use racial stereotypes against another black person like you're white. You're not. So what are you really doing? You're goofy. Let me block you, crime news and stories. And by the way, your channel sucks and you're never going to make anything. Let me block you. Get out of here. Goodness gracious. Like I said before, it's very upsetting because trying to have any type of conversations is always filled with a bunch of gaslighting and false narratives. Just like how you said, why didn't black women come to black men's defense when it came to Kevin Samuels? Kevin Samuels never said anything about black men in the way that when he started making money, he said about black women. Ever, period, anywhere. And there are a host of things that I have in my phone right now that this man said. So the fact that you even said that was completely disingenuous in the first place, because you know damn well that he didn't say nothing to where y'all would need to be defended by us. That's just crazy that you would even freaking say that. Like,
Okay,
get out of
but
here. You can go too. Like,
Could I say something real quick?
Who is that? Super
That
villain?
super
Go
villain on
ahead.
the end. Yes, and girl, take it because you deserve it. You out here again doing teacher's work. AT, love you. I just want to say this. I hate having these conversations. Like, I literally feel like every time they make an argument, I lose a wrinkle in my brain. But he literally just proved your point. It says number two, black men open the door for disrespect against black women. Now, black men were on a panel when another black man just called her a Keisha and told her she was twerking. Then y'all gonna tell us that the average black men don't be thinking like the dudes on the podcast. Was that not a random black man that just came up here and did exactly what we're talking about? Triggered. He literally walked right into the point. And this is what I'm talking about. Then y'all gonna gaslight us and tell us that we're imagining things, that the average black man don't think like that. Was that not one of the average, most random black men coming up here proving the point? That's all I gotta say, Triggered. I'm gonna drop because, again, I don't need my brain to be smooth. I'm trying to keep the wrinkles I have left. Y'all stay good.
I totally understand. I think that, like I said, there's a reason why other groups have surpassed black men in this world as far as earning potential, as far as education, as far as just simple literacy. Everything cannot be blamed on the white T man. a lot of it is the lack of accountability, the lack of willing to actually sit there and say, you know what, I actually am contributing to my own demise, my own dysfunction, my own oppression by feeding myself, the mind, feeding my mind, feeding the minds of my brothers, feeding the minds of the young Black impressionable boys in my community nonsense, and putting everything to blame on the Black woman. You cannot be simultaneously be a king, but then be the woman is to blame and in control of your destiny and everything that's happening, and you're completely powerless against everything that needs to happen. Just as simply as the guy that was here that said, "What have y'all done to defend us?" Excuse me, are you a lady? Like, are you a lady boy? What in the world are you looking for protection and defense from the women in your own community? That in itself is buck broken, weak sucker behavior. But once again, I don't understand. I don't know if it has to do with something to do with Black men have, the most estrogen in their systems compared to all the racial demographics. That is a fact. It's not abuse. Look it up if you don't believe me. I have no idea. I don't know where any of this stems from, but it's completely insane. But let me just keep going forward. T
Who
Scorpio,
are
do you
we?
have something
Who
to
are we
say?
considering the average Black man?
Okay, William Reed. Let me say this. I have no problem interacting with Black men on my platform. This is my backup because I try to have this on my main page and they got me blocked. But let me say this. I don't really want to have a conversation with you respectfully either, because you're just the same as the other guys that was up here. You said nothing to take accountability for the state. Of course, it may not be
I haven't really been able
you
to
doing
talk.
it.
I don't really
No,
want to
well,
like add negativity.
you did exactly what I said. You know what I'm saying? You're ashy and uneducated, and you're also an enabler, and you're the same. And I don't like to have conversations with Black men that their first thing that they come up is to try to disassociate from the real things that are going on in the Black community. I don't like that. The first thing that we talk about is you want to bring up women, or you want to bring up the fact that you don't have any power or any way to not be a bootlicker. I don't respect that. I don't. You say that you run a 6-figure company. I don't care what you run. If you run in a 6-figure company, of course, everybody says that when they're online. But I tell you what, if you run a 6-figure company, I don't see it going the long haul, because you're completely uneducated and idiotic. So let me block. Wait a minute. Let me see. This person here, Perp Ranger, you said that I'm a hypocrite. Let me hear your voice. Let me hear your voice. Well, I just added you up. Let me hear your voice. Are you Black or white? Well, let me hear your voice. Say
Hello.
something. Yeah, let me tell you something. You a literal hypocrite. Because why in the world you got your ashy behind in my live? If you don't like what I have to say, all you have to do is keep scrolling. And you probably somebody I blocked, which is why you got that goofy default profile pic. Let me tell you something. I don't owe you nothing. I don't owe to hear your voice. I don't owe to give you your perspective. I have
And
no
he's gonna
idea
keep
why
on
y'all feel
talking,
like
huh?
I owe you anything. So shut your goofy ass up. How about that? So get your behind up out of here. You a hypocrite. Your mama's a hypocrite. And I feel so sorry for her that she birthed a lame like you. Let me just keep going, because like y'all have now made me get so upset that I'm really finna just tear y'all up. Like, let me stop. Carmel Mermaid, did you have anything to say? If you do, you can. How many baby daddies I got? I don't have a single baby daddy. I have a husband. But you see what I'm saying? You see how y'all try to turn around and use stereotypes against Black women that could easily be used against you? Because what if I ask you, how many times have you been to prison? Have you been arrested? Do you have a record? I'm sure that you do. You have a blank profile. You call yourself HVAC man. You probably can only do a trade because your felony doesn't allow you to have a proper career. Now, if I said that to you, you be in your feelings about it. You see what I'm saying? So, like, what are we talking about? Tell me how many felonies you have, HVAC man. Quickly tell me. Because I know you got some, which is why you doing a trade. I'm not a single baby mother. I'm married, but I'm gonna block y'all for even saying that. Let me keep going. Let me add everybody up here. I'm gonna add some more people up here. Just know that I'm fed up. I'm not about to play with anybody that comes up here moving forward, especially if you're a man. Go ahead, T.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I hear what you're saying. You spot on with everything. I just find it just comical every time when we talk about this particular type of conversation, how you have black men bring up, oh, do you know who this person is? Do you know who this person is? Did you know that the black man was in America at one point? We ruled this, we ruled that. Like, listen, all of that is irrelevant if you're conquered today.
Exactly.
If you're conquered today, that is irrelevant who you were in the past. The only thing you are telling me as a black man, you had de-evolutionized. Whatever you were at that time, being a great black man, you ain't shit today. You had dishonored the great black man. That's the only thing you're showing to me. That you dishonoring the great black man by being the degenerates that you are today. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. If y'all were as great as you said y'all were, y'all wouldn't allow the white tea man to bring crack to y'all. Y'all sat there, you took the crack and sold crack, but then some way it's the black woman's fault. It's always the black woman's fault, and y'all created crack babies. Y'all genetically modified black people for life. Black people genetics will never be the same again because of what y'all did. But for some reason in history, you skipped that. Hey, a hit dog will holler. It's not my fault your mama was a crackhead, bro. You better blame that to the black men that was older than you. All them pimps that I'm your pusher man, and you want to be pimps and everything. Yes, you skip past that part of history, and go straight to the great food stamp movement, the so-called great food stamp movement. The black woman kicked y'all out. Black women ain't do shit and then kick y'all out. And even if the black woman did kick you out for some type of government assistance, you wouldn't have been kicked out if you had your shit together. The fact is, a woman got to go to the government to basically make up for where you lacked. You failed as the father. You failed. Any of you dudes is listening to the sound of my voice. If your wife or your baby mother or your girlfriend, the woman you living with, you got a child and she got to rely on food stamps or WIC or whatever type of government assistance because you couldn't make it because you didn't have no money, then that means you failed. You failed. You having somebody else pick up your slack. And that's what it just became today. It just today, I just hear a bunch of black men just want someone to pick up the slack. You can't be the leaders of the community, talk about how great y'all were in Africa, running in spears, fighting wars, fighting lions and tigers and bears. And then now y'all sitting there saying, oh, we need a woman to go 50-50. We can't survive. Oh, Trump. Oh, we need Trump to get us back in line. Like y'all relying on a white tea man to save y'all tells me how pathetic you are. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. All right, T. Hey, Lige, our grandmothers told us I did mod you. Somebody, Pat says, do y'all MFs on here don't got jobs? First of all, your English is very piss poor. Understand that. And number two, no, this is my job. I'm a social media creator. Thanks. And my husband pays all the bills. So there you go. There's your answer. So if we don't have jobs because we're in the live, what do you have when you're in here Twitter fingering it? I really need y'all to understand, like, what that doesn't even make sense. You're doing the exact same thing that we're doing. But I'm gonna keep moving. Y'all be tripping me out. Let me go up here to let's see here. You got symbols, Dark Light Dragon. Go ahead, Dark Light Dragon. You there, Dark Light Dragon? Let me send you a request to turn your microphone on if you're there. I'll give you like.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. First and foremost, I just want to say I appreciate the position and the strength that I'm hearing from a lot of the black women. I'm not on no weird pick me type stuff. I'm a very accountable guy myself, and I think more of my brothers need to be that way. If you want to be considered as strong, then you have to exude strength. Making excuses and blaming black women for the failures that we've had as leaders in our community is not going to help push anything forward. I'm married to a black woman. I love her very much. If anything were to ever happen to her, that is my fault. If she did not have enough money to provide for herself, then it's my fault. If I let someone hurt her and I don't do anything, it's my fault. And there is no excuses I could make. I couldn't sit here and say, oh, the system is the reason why I allowed harm to come to my woman. And I hear the passion that y'all are speaking to and your voices and the pain that's coming from y'all, and it's completely understandable. A lot of these brothers on here have an extremely weak disposition, and they want to kind of put the blame on the black women when it's really our position to create peace and harmony among our own people. If we claim to have the leadership abilities and the claim to leadership that they say we should have, which me personally, I do believe in kind of a partnership when it comes to black men and black women in our leadership roles, because I see how capable and competent black women truly are over all the other women on the planet. They don't have the asset that we have in our women with their women. Their women are weak compared to our women. And I do admire strength in women, not just only in emotionally, but physically and intellectually as well. And that's definitely a God-given gift that our women have. I value that very much. And I think that our brothers need to realize y'all have not given up on us, because if you did, you wouldn't even be speaking. You'd be indifferent and you would not care to say anything to try to cause us to want to improve upon how we're acting in this world. And that's all I really have to say. So.
Okay, all right. Appreciate you, Dragon King. I just wanted to say though, in response, I think I can speak for T Scorpio as well. I don't have any pain, as regards to this situation in the black community. Respectfully, I don't have any pain. I really, I do social media. That's my job. I try my best to. I'm doing this thing where I have a YouTube. So if anybody is interested in seeing me further, you could this is my backup page. But you can go to my main page, which is Unpopular Opinions, Black Woman, BLKWMN. And also you can click on this page or that page. And I have a YouTube. And you can click the link in the bio, and I have a lot of videos and stuff like that. But I'm talking about it, number one, for content purposes, of course. But number two, at the end of the day, I think that as I said earlier, you probably weren't here. Black men and black women, even if because there are groups and demographics of black women that would prefer to separate from black men. I hear from black women every day that say that they don't want anything to do with black men. They don't want anything to do with the black community. The only thing they want to be focused on is black women and black children. Now, I know that no matter what we do, no matter how much we would like to separate, it's impossible for us to separate because we're interconnected. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
So I just speak on it out of the fact of to bring awareness. But oftentimes when I do that, I get frustrated because constantly I'm met with, I would say 90-10 split, 90% of black men that refuse to take accountability, that are completely buck broken and weak and that don't even see a problem. And if you don't see a problem, you can never fix it. And then, 10% of black men that have sense that are coming from not an emotional standpoint, but they're coming from a logical standpoint, and they see what we're saying and what's going on, and they try to come in and help, even though they get called simps and panderers, just like you were being called a simp by several black men in the comments while you were speaking. I think that, that's basically what I think a lot of black women have now, frustration and maybe anger or maybe disappointment. But I think a lot of the hurt and stuff like that is pretty non-existent moving forward from this point, and even I, like people were saying in the comments, like, oh, her husband must be unhappy. Oh, does she have a husband? I do have a husband, and he is black, and he's not like y'all. And I think that's the reason why y'all find it like, you can't fathom that we would have a good relationship when I speak about topics like this, because he understands what's going on. And he's not that type of person. But y'all will never understand it. Y'all will never understand the treatment that a good man gets, because y'all will never ever be that. Unfortunately, y'all would never be that. Your daddy wasn't any good. Your granddaddy wasn't any good. Your whole line is filled with failures. It's just like what Kanye said. He said, like, people gonna get married and have hater kids, and you marry a hater chick and have hater kids and have hater babies, because that's exactly the line that y'all are coming from, the lineage that y'all are coming from. So, I pray that these lives can eventually, affect or cause change or cause someone to think that actually has the right perspective, whether that be a black man or a black woman. Because at the end of the day, that's all we can hope to do, is that somebody can be affected. Because I don't think that all black men are bad. I don't. And I don't. But I do think that we do have a problem with the collective of black men. And we also have a problem with the culture that is being breastfed to the young black boys that are coming up, and I think that is causing these poor outcomes that we see,
And Trigger, I was just gonna say real quick, Trigger, I was gonna say is, and even looking at the fact that when you say that you have a loving relationship with your husband, how he's a good man, and to hear the men say that's cap, that's not real, tells me how they really view basically women, and especially black women. They don't even believe a good man exists, but yet they run up here and say, well, it's not all men. It's not all men. But then when we talk about how we got a good man, a good provider, a man that treat us good, oh, you lying, you cap, oh, he must be a simp. So which one is it? Is it not all men, or is it like, just like when I be saying on my lives a lot, the number one thing I always say every time I talk about how good my sugar daddy fiance is to me, and the men be like, oh, nah. I be like, yeah, because you never saw a man treat your mother good. You never saw a man treat your mother good. You never saw a man come in and swooped her out of her poverty situation where your daddy left you and your mother.
All right.
No man ever came with his cape and saved your mother. She had to deal with your snot-nosed, ungrateful ass all by herself. And
All
this
right,
is
T.
why you're angry.
Can
All
I
right,
say
let
one
me
more
go up.
thing?
Well,
Sorry.
oh, yeah. I'll let you say one more thing, Dragon, and then I'll go up here and let new and Infer speak.
All right. In regards to the dudes calling me a simp, look, I know for a fact that the majority of you guys have compromised at some point in your life, whether it was to get a job, whether it was to please some white person in a circle that you thought would benefit you financially or monetarily. And you can't speak to me in that regard because I'm a self-sustaining black man. I have my own business and I take care of me and my wife. I have denied many opportunity in my life because it meant compromising my stance and strength as a black man and putting a white person over me. And I refuse to ever do that. So if you want to call me a simp, then that means that you should be able to stand on your own too and make sacrifices and be able to say you're independently away from the system of white supremacy and willing to sacrifice for the betterment of black people. I should be able to freely love a black woman, make the needed moves in my life to create provision and safety and feel good about that because that's my role and that's what I'm supposed to be doing. How am I a simp for being a man? Most of y'all are very soft. Really, y'all don't have the right type of disposition to be a leader. So all you can do is make childish little insults and come on the internet and call an actual man who actually provides for a black woman a simp. And I hope that makes you feel better. I love black women. You ain't never gonna have no little petty words to say against me that'll make me feel any otherwise. So y'all have a good one, brothers. I hope y'all decide to grow up and become men one of these days. It's a great thing to do, great thing to be. God shines on that greatly. And y'all take it easy. That's all I got to really say. So, hey.
Okay, I appreciate you. I need to ask a question really quickly to I think there's a person in the comments to Kyra Janae. Are you a man or a woman? You said this is a safe space to black women, and you said that I called you weak. Are you a black man or a black woman? You have a picture. It's a couple picture, like a male and a female there. So I'm not quite for sure if you are a woman or a man. I was thinking you were a man by the things that you were saying. If you're not, let me know. Oh, I didn't see that you said it 3 times. I'm gonna go ahead and drop somebody, and I'm gonna go ahead and let you
I guess you can go ahead and drop me. Can I say one last thing? Because I got to get to work.
Okay, I'll give you 30 seconds because I need to hurry up and add this. Oh no, somebody already go ahead.
I find it interesting that we've been on this earth as old as the sun, and we've been on the earth for 75 billion years. And then the black men get up here and have the nerves to say, what have we done? Why don't we support you? Well, how did you get this far without the black woman? Who's been supporting you? Who's been helping you? Who's been rearing you? That's all I want to say. And I find it very interesting that the black man sees a black woman as more of a threat than the ones who have impressed him more than anything for over 700 years on the plantation. Now you're on autopilot as far as hating your own kind. I find that very interesting.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, all right, all praises.
Drop off.
Okay. All right, Kai, I did send you a request for you to come up. I didn't know that you were a black woman. You said it 3 times. I didn't see it, so I didn't know. And also, I just wanted to say real quick before I let New speak that it's funny that y'all talk about like there being like it's not all black men. There are a lot of black men that are good and decent and stuff like that. But then y'all actively shame the black men that are loving on black women or saying things as positive. Y'all call that pandering. Y'all call that being weak. Y'all call that simping. And is exactly the type of culture that I'm talking about, that is curated and surrounded by black men, is that catering to black women, treating a woman right, treating a woman with respect, even saying things that she may want to hear, saying things that are nice is weak and is pandering. And my thing is that I think a lot of y'all are closeted, because do you want to say nice thing to men? Do you want to give sweet nothings in a man's ear? Is that the type of people? Is that who you want to make feel good about themselves? But you don't want to make the women that you claim to be attracted to feel good about themselves or pander to them? That doesn't make any sense. If every time you see a simp, he's got a woman and you don't, then ask yourself, hey, maybe I'm doing something wrong, or maybe I need to play for the different team. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it doesn't, I have no idea how y'all make it like catering to a woman as a man is a bad thing if these men like women. That lets me know y'all really don't like women. Y'all really don't. And I don't know if it's that y'all don't want to be with men because of the, the blowback, how some people treat, you know what I'm saying? Like queer men or whatever. Y'all don't want that. So y'all want to keep fighting against it. But I'm just saying, if you're a grown man in 2024 calling another man a simp for saying nice things to women and getting a positive response out of women, but you call yourself straight, I got a surprise for you. I got something I got to break it to you. You're not, sir. You're, guess what? Gay. And you need to fix that. You need to do something about that. And I don't like to always just degrade to calling men gay, because I think sometimes that's a lazy argument that women do to get on men's nerves and to make them upset. But I don't say this as an insult. I say this as the truth. If you have a problem with another man uplifting women or making women feel good about themselves, or he's saying things nice to women and women are loving to hear it, and you think that that's simp behavior or weak behavior or that's not manly, you're homosexual, period. You like men, because who you want to talk nice to. That's all I got to say. I'm not even going to keep going, but think about that. Think about that the next time you call another man a simp, okay? All right, because y'all talk about Russell Wilson and Sierra and how he is simping that. Y'all seen that ride video with Sierra. Y'all see the fact that this lady got a bajillion and one children. She ride that man off every day into the sunset, clearly, if you know what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, who's losing? Because y'all are in y'all basement jerking it with lotion and jerking it into socks and inanimate objects, or trying to be on Grindr finding another man. So at the end of the day, who's losing? Who's losing by thinking this way? That's all I have to say. Let me just keep going. New known king, go ahead, sir. You were very patient in waiting.
Okay, woosah. Just relax, right? For
Okay,
everybody.
you already messed up. You already messed up by telling me to woo sign relax on my platform. This is the
I
way
said
I
everybody.
speak. This is the
I
way
said
I
everybody.
talk.
Hold
I'm
on,
not
relax.
upset. I'm not in my feelings. You already fucked up. So
Hold
goodbye.
on.
You're gone. You don't even get a chance to speak. So sorry you waited all that time only to get kicked. Lame it. Boy, let me just calm down, because I was about to say something real bad, but I know it's TikTok and I can't. Let me just say something. I should have never trust a Negro that got a Kango hat on in his profile pic in 2024. Geriatric behavior. Are you sure that your caregiver should even have let you out? Where you supposed to be at right now? You supposed to be playing Parcheesi or Scrabble or some other type of old people game. What are you even doing in here? You know what I'm saying? The fact that you would even, man, let me just keep pushing. I'm sorry, y'all. I debated. I said this on my lives plenty of times. I debated in elementary, junior high, high school, college. So it's automatically my default to really get crazy. But I try to calm it down and keep it cute for TikTok because they so sensitive. So let me not say nothing else. And let me see, 1990 Lolo that says that I'm triggered. Let me say something. You have a car in your profile. I could never be triggered about somebody that has a car in their profile. That means one of two things. One, you're ugly, or two, you feel like the only thing that you have to offer is your vehicle, which is not even a good looking car. You haven't even done a lot to it. So do better. I'm going to block you though. Go ahead, Inferno. Go ahead.
Uh, Good evening, everybody. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Another day the Most High made. So I see the topics, but I also hear, exactly what it is we're talking about. So I ain't got nothing to hide. I like playing with the AI pictures, but at the end of the day, I'm a black man, 29 years old. If it don't feel like like I got a whole bunch of years under my belt, I still feel like I used to when I was just in high school and all that.
But I'm married now. Like I've been married for 5 years. I have a daughter and a son, and my wife's always showing me more of the worst behavior of my side of the fence, and it doesn't affect me because I'm not these ways, but it does discourage, and I've been in positions all the time where I like get laid off or something like that, and I can't support my family how I wish that I would be able to.
No
But I know,
disrespect, sir. This is if you want a counselor, they take Medicaid, right?
yeah, I don't got
Yeah,
Medicaid.
if you need a
The only
count, I'm just saying if you
only
need
point
a
I
therapy, you
was
can
trying to
Google
make
that.
was that
You're
black
trauma
women.
dumping on us, sir.
Yes, you can go to betterhelp.com. They can assist people with
Yeah.
low income.
I'm talking about black women. I'm just saying black women supported me all my life. Raised by a black woman by herself.
What they got
Black
to do with
woman
the
been pillars
topic,
in my life
sir?
the whole
I'm
way.
just trying to get you back onto the topic because it seemed like you're giving us a whole profile of yourself and no one's interested, so
Oh, well, that's fair.
I'm just
Well, with the
saying.
last brother, I wasn't certain if we were talking about this 1, 2, 3, 4 right here, or
Yeah,
if
we can Inferno, we can talk about we sometimes when you have lives we
right.
end up veering from the point because of stuff
Indeed,
that people say. However, if you can talk about whatever I would like to stay on topic. So one, two,
fair.
three, or four, whatever one you want to speak on, you can go ahead. Whatever one.
Okay, I could talk. I could talk about 3 then.
Okay, go ahead.
I say that is a verifiable fact. I stand on that. We all been here to see your 106 in parts. I was a young kid staying up to watch the uncut, so we know that it's like programming in the minds that they sexualize the black woman above all women because you don't see this happening across the board. They specifically choose our people to do this too, and it's just more of a way for them to try and keep the overall like viewpoint of what the black woman is supposed to be or how she deserves to be treated in a negative light. So I can agree that that's definitely built off the degradation of that, and I could just leave it at that.
Okay, all right, Inferno. All right, I'm gonna go up here then to Zeke. Did that? Go ahead, Zeke.
And drop out.
Hi. Um, can I ask your name, the host?
Yeah, you can call me Triggered.
Okay. Um, I do agree with the 1 through 4, and I do agree that it is our responsibility as black men to be better towards women and better the community because I do believe that it starts with us. But I also want to say that I think that love is truly the only thing that can really conquer something like that. And I think that if I were to say something that black women could do better is lifting the examples that's needed and not really focusing on the ones that's bad. And I also wanted to say that if we're talking about the black community as a whole, I think that like the lady was saying earlier, like we do need each other. And when you go in these other communities, she was right. Like these Arab communities, they don't play about their women, or in these Hispanic communities. But I do feel like there are black men and black women that contribute to our downfall. But there's also black men and black women that's contributing to the success of the community too. So I feel like the best thing we can do is love the ones that's lost because love is the only thing that can heal, not fear. And we gotta put those great examples in the spotlight and we have to inspire the young black men because like you said earlier, we know that there was a psychological breaking towards the black man according to our traumas and things that we've dealt with in America.
Oh, sorry about that. I had to unmute myself. I understand what you're saying to a point, but I would just say that a lot of the dynamics between men, men seem to be, very concerned about, what other men think, and their image when it comes to how they're viewed by other men. It dictates on how they feel if they're masculine and all of these other things. And so we have a problem in the culture of men that are the type of men that I guess people will want to uplift or speak up positively about. They are called simps and panderers and looked at as weak, and they are shunned and looked down on by the collective of black men in our community. So we would never be able to get to where that we would be able to uplift a large number or a large percentage of black men until we could get black men to unpack the idea that men that respect women, men that treat women good, men that care about women's feelings, or men that even prioritize women are weak and are not deserving of any respect. And that's something that we can't do. That's something that would have to be done by the collective of black men. Black women couldn't do that because black women already show that they like men that behave like that because they like men that behave like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's something y'all can or should do. I was just saying something that could help. I wasn't,
Okay.
like I said, I've already stated that it is on us because we are, any male is the leader of any community. Like I said, when you go in these Arab communities, when you go in these Hispanic communities, they are the leaders. They make sure that the women are protected. So it's not on y'all and it's not your job. I'm just saying, from a spiritual perspective, love is the only thing that can change these men's heart because everything starts with the heart. And a lot of these men, psychologically and emotionally, have been broken due to Western ideologies in the system and all of this stuff. So I feel like some black women do need to take that into consideration. That
Sir, what you're talking about is one-sided
Okay.
relationship.
Okay. Hold on, T. I want to let
she talking about me?
I think she was, but I'm gonna keep moving forward. I'll let her respond to you. You can respond back to her after I let these other people that I let up here speak.
Yeah,
Thank.
I'm willing to listen to whatever if somebody's responding to what I said.
All right. Okay. Let me go forward. Oh, yeah. And I did real quickly. Let me respond to Jimmy Trey in the comments where you said like what black women are attracted to those type of men. Plenty. Like the thing about it is the reason why you say where is because you're not that type of man, Jimmy Trey 288. You're not a good man. You're not a man that respects women. So you wouldn't know if women are attracted to that type of man or where they at or where those women are because you'll never be that. You're overlooked by the women that would be interested in those type of men. I really need you to understand that. So figure it out. Okay, let me move forward to Chanel. Go ahead, Chanel. I'll give you 2 minutes.
Yes, peace to the panel. Thank you, host.
Hey.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on because the Andrew Schwartz thing, I see him disrespecting us a lot, as well as that Myron guy, and I'm like so thrown off because I'm like, why do they feel so comfortable, right? So I just think black men aren't angry enough. And I feel like when we express ourselves, a lot of people try to trigger us by saying words like, oh, you're angry, just like how that guy tried to check you and tell you that to calm down. No, I'm embracing my dark side. If you want to call me angry, I'm going to be that, especially when it comes to protecting like black women. And I think we need to stop being afraid of other people being afraid of us and embrace who we are. We are warriors and we are fighters and we do love very hard and we do protect each other. So I just want to say that black men need to stop being afraid of being angry. Everyone already views you as being angry, upset, mad, and whatever. Embrace that and start protecting your people because they're going to look at us however they want to look at us anyway. So as a black, quote unquote, black woman, I'm embracing my dark side these days. I'm not letting nobody talk over me, disrespect me, or disrespect my people. So I think everyone should take that on as well because who cares if you're mad and sad and angry? We are. You know, they shouldn't be disrespecting us the way they are. I'm on Twitter a lot and I see the disrespect towards black women from other groups of men like Andrew Schwartz, whatever his name is. I think that's crazy when he's able to sit in front of Black men like Charlemagne and things like that and just disrespect us and feel okay and safe about that. It shouldn't be like that. He should be afraid of Black men, period. So that's all.
Okay, all right. I appreciate what you said, Chanel. I think you made some good points. I did want to respond to somebody in the comments, some guy named CFO Cloud or whatever, who said that Andrew Schulz talks about everybody. Who cares if he talks about everybody? What if there was somebody that you was standing and it was a whole bunch of different people of all different races? Y'all was standing on the street and this white T guy went over there and smacked the dog crap out of all of y'all. Would you say, oh, the smack is okay? He did it to everybody that's over here. Huh? Would you say that? Or would you still be offended that he smacked you? Like you gotta get it together. That means nothing. And once again, that's weak, buck broken behavior. And it's scary because it's really a lot of y'all is like buck broken and y'all don't realize it. Sometimes a smack could be less impactful than somebody saying something about a demographic of people for the whole world, for millions and millions of people to see and watch it. So if you think that, that's just because you're not educated. I just don't know what to say about y'all. Like it's so many of y'all that make these lives and y'all say like y'all not y'all ancestors and stuff. I can tell y'all are way weaker. Y'all are way weaker. Like if it was up to some of y'all that exist now, we still be using separate bathrooms. But anyway, let me keep going. Go ahead, Kai.
Hello everyone. I just wanted to chime in on the first one. He's a classic example of what they were talking about in the Willie Lynch letter and buck breaking. I do agree with what Chanel said when she said that Black men aren't angry enough, because first of all, the topic itself is inappropriate. It's not a laughing matter. But what's even more insulting is that you also had a fellow Black man on that same panel, a kiki and giggling, instead of standing on principles, standing on what's right, and standing up for his fellow Black man and putting his foot down. Like, no, I'm not going to sit up here and listen to you make a joke about someone that's also a part of my community, because it's not a laughing matter. As far as opening the door for disrespect of Black women, I also agree with that. And a lot of the music, it coincides with what you call great culture, and that's a whole nother topic. And we do need to stop giving passes. We need to stop giving passes to people who I would say try to assimilate and camouflage with us, not just people of the white T community, but also people within a diaspora who have the white T community's thought process. You know, like you look like us, but you're not like us. Basically, what Kendrick Lamar said. All in all, Black men, they need to have more boundaries. They need to stop playing in these feminized, demasculinated roles in the media and all, just all of that. Like, no, be a man, stand up for what's right. And I was highly offended by it. Like, there's no way in other countries that you can go and make a joke about someone that's that's viewed as a positive influence and get away with it. And I just felt like he was too comfortable, but they allowed him to be too comfortable with it. Like, when are you going to stop laughing and kiki and actually stand up and correct it? Because if you don't correct it, then it's not going to be corrected. And the only way it's going to be corrected is if Black men get up, correct. It takes a Black man to correct another Black man, first of all. And then once that's viewed, then the world is gonna perceive them a whole different way. But that was just my take.
Okay, all right. The what's your name? CFL Clout Lord, CFO Clout Lord. I'm gonna block you unless you get up in the panel, because you said disrespecting Black men, the same people you ask protect you. That's weird in itself. I think that you're not living in reality. I think that the majority of Black women understand and realize that the collective of black men will not protect them, has not protected them, and that's not going to happen. Now, I'm not saying if you have like a man in your life or, or a brother or your dad or nephews or whatever, that they won't step for you, possibly, but I'm saying the collective, I don't think that any black woman expects the collective of black men to defend or protect them in anything. And I think that you're delusional if you think that black women really believe that or think that way, because they don't. Nobody, if y'all can't protect yourself against a white T man playing in your face, why would we think that you could protect us? You can't even protect yourself. You had those the S and Giggles dudes come up there and say that they didn't know what to say. They was scared to defend black women because that big 100-pound skinny white T man was right there. They felt intimidated. So if they can't even protect and defend themselves or stand on what they believe to be right, what would make you think we think you're gonna be able to protect us? That doesn't make any sense. Nobody's thinking that you guys are gonna do that. Nobody expects that of you either. I expect my husband to do that, but that's because he's my husband. But nobody expects the collective of black men to do anything. So please stop the games and stop the lies. Nobody expects y'all to do nothing. Y'all have never done it. Now, previously, during slavery times, you were not able to. But even when you were in a position to where you could, you never did collectively. So why in the world would anybody think anything would be different now? I don't understand. And Kiara, Janae, you've been talking a lot of crazy stuff in the comments, being disrespectful. So I don't think that you have the right to say what you think should be talked about. But if you would like to talk about anything, I would love to ask you why you said half the things that you said. You can send me a request and get in this live box. Go ahead, user 292-0856. Go ahead. I'll send you a request to turn your mic on just in case you can't. Go ahead, user 292.
Okay, my fault. I was muted. So before I get into the prompt, I kind of wanted to respond to what you just said. I agree with you, right? And I think buck breaking, we come from a long lineage of men who've been buck breaking, who reproduce buck broken men, right? So we have to acknowledge that. But with that, women were lifted up in slavery, right? The black woman was lifted up and basically made the powerful head of the household. Still to this day, it goes on, right? Black men it's much harder for educated black man to succeed over an educated black woman, or a straight black man, we'll say, right? Because they'll give it to the gay black man or the black woman over the straight man. So it's still going on, right? So
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
Okay, well, I mean,
Yeah, I don't
in
agree
all
with
there's no
honesty,
way to statistically back that up. There
well,
are
no,
plenty of black women
look
that
up.
are discriminated
No,
against.
statistically, black women are more employed in
Yes,
better jobs.
that's because black women do that because they have been socialized to do that, and black men have been coddled to be for the bare minimum to be accepted.
What's not fair is you to say coddled, right? We just spoke about buck breaking, right? So to
No,
say
but
that
black
it's
men
a
have been coddled
coddling.
by the collective of the community and also black women. Black women play a huge part in the coddling of black men. Black women accept black men doing a lot of different things, give them excuses the same way that you could just say that, hey, black women are able to do something that black men cannot, which is not true. It's
Everything
just
you're saying, right, goes all the way back to slavery and the buck breaking,
black
because
women
the black woman
endured
had
the
to
exact
coddle.
same thing
No,
that you did.
we
no,
We
got
endured
down.
the
We
exact
got
same
essay as
thing.
well.
listen,
We were
I'm
raped,
not
we
denying
were
that.
abused, we were mistreated. Everything
Absolutely,
that the black man has
absolutely.
gone through, the black woman has too. There's no separation.
So, but this is
None.
what you must remember, right? In society, the man is the leader, right? So when a leader is broken and his woman is brought up, so yes, black women went through everything black men went through: rape, torture, everything. I'm sorry, I'm not good at it, but everything that happened to me. But they were elevated in those positions because Master,
They were not elevated in
they
those positions.
elevated.
Are
We
you
were not
crazy?
elevated. We earned
Black
it. We earned it.
black women had their children sold like they were the animals, like they were dogs with a litter or cats with a litter.
Well,
That
I
is
mean,
absolutely not
this is
true
from
at all.
this is from studied books.
There
it
are
was
no
part. I mean,
sex
it's
books
even
that
part
say
of the
that.
Willie Lynch
What?
letters. No,
The
no, no.
Willie Lynch letter isn't even real. It's already been
No, I
debunked
hear
that
you.
that isn't even
But
a
it was
real letter.
it was a
So you can't
mindset.
even use
No,
that.
so but it's a philosophy, right? So it's a philosophy. So if you
It's
go
a
down
You
that,
over here
philosophy built on
lying.
something
You're
that's not true.
lying. You're
so
lying, sir.
so
You
they
over
did.
here
So
lying.
they
You're
didn't break.
lying. You're lying.
They
Wait,
didn't
wait, wait.
break
You
Hold on,
men.
saying they
T. Hold on,
uplift
T.
us?
Go ahead. I need you to clarify your point. Go ahead, user.
So what I'm saying is it's based on a philosophy, right? So yeah, Willie Lynch didn't write this letter, right? But it's an ideology that carried and continued and helped break slaves.
But
That
you
was the whole
can't
point.
use that. You can't use the Willie Lynch letter because it's not real and it didn't exist. So you can't even use this as even using it as a possible way to explain what has happened to black people because it's not real and it's already been debunked. So what I'm
So
saying
so
is that
the
everything that black men have gone through, black women have gone through as well. There's no difference. We can't say, oh no, black men got it a little worse on this way and no, there's
so
no
when
absolute no
there's
difference.
no got it worse, right? But again, in the symbiotic process of life, right? It's man and woman. I mean, everybody doesn't believe that, but from my stance, your man, your husband is your leader. Like you were saying earlier, you expect your husband to protect you, and right. So that's what every woman should want from their man, right? From all men, from their fathers, their friends, their neighbors, from all men of their race, right? So if that man is broken purposely because they saw black men as threats and strong threats, so they broke them even more. Not saying that women weren't broken, right? Women were broken. They went through everything, but they were elevated as well.
Black
No nigga
women
was
were
allowed in the
never
house. There
elevated,
was
and
no
that's what
man.
they were
Schulz, can I
never
say?
elevated.
When
Black
I say
women were
elevated,
never elevated. I
okay,
don't know where you're getting this from. Black women were never elevated. They weren't even able to stay at home. White women got mad when black people were emancipated and said, hey, these heifers, it looks like they're staying at home and we don't want them to stay home. We want them to clean our house and do our own duties and chores. Black women have never had any rest, never had any relaxation, never had anything. The only difference between black men and black women is that there was not the coddling and the excuses that are made for black men that were made for black women. That's the reason why when men get out of prison, you got their big mamas. Oh, he just couldn't help it. He made the mistake because the environment of white tea supremacy made him sell, you know what, hard candy to his community and rob and pillage and grape and do all of these things. But a black girl that is promiscuous or has multiple baby daddies, when we have all of these discussions about baby mama culture or black women supposedly being masculine or angry or whatever, nobody talks about, hey, well, maybe the black woman is going through some things too. Maybe the black woman has been affected by white tea supremacy. I never see anyone giving black women grace when it comes to
I don't think
anything.
that's
And
fair.
because of
I think
that,
people do a lot.
that lack of coddling that black women receive is the reason why black women are the most employed race of women and black men are the least employed race of men. There's a reason for that because there's a coddling and excuses taking place to give to black men. Just look at all the excuses you just tried to give that black women were elevated when they were not.
So
That is right there in
I
real time. You excusing what has happened to or making it seem like there's an unequal balance in what has occurred to excuse the bad behavior of black men.
oh
That
no,
is a
there's no
problem.
excuse. There's no excuse because I mean, look, if I'm gonna say something controversial, right? That y'all may not like, but it's kind of true, right? In the sense of um even being buck broken, right? I don't blame the white people for allowing for black men getting buck broken. I blame black men, right? Because for me,
What?
it, so I'll finish. So
Oh my
again,
God, bro. Have some dignity, bro.
no. I have dignity.
Have some fucking
That's why
nuts,
I say
bro.
this.
I'm
Listen,
sorry. Can I cut him
can I
off?
just
I
finish?
don't. I
Yeah,
don't.
Hold on.
yeah,
Can
Holy
I?
yeah, yeah,
fuck,
yeah,
You're,
yeah.
bro.
you're spreading
Hold on, you guys.
misinformation.
Go ahead,
You're
argue with
spreading
your mama.
misinformation. So I only came here
And I'm
to give a
suffering.
historical account of what actually took place in America, because I am actually an African and African American studies major, and the misinformation y'all are spewing up here is ridiculous.
Y'all who?
The men, the
Go
men,
ahead,
the
argue with
men,
your mama.
the
I'll let you
men.
speak.
Because first things first, what I need for you to understand is women have always been front row center for the fight to liberation.
I don't know where y'all get off that black women were not present, but you are reading the wrong things, right? I have a bookshelf of books about black women, right? Black women in the struggle, Want to start a revolution? Who's that up there? A black woman. What? Women in the civil rights movement? What? A black woman. What? Body and Soul, the Black Panther Party, black women. So put some respect on our name in this country. Black women. When black women decided we was going to stay home and take care of our men, white women appealed to the Supreme Court and they let out city ordinances forcing us back in their homes. Because they didn't want to hump on their husbands. They didn't want to raise their children. They didn't want to cook no food. Put respect on black women. This is why we are turning our backs on y'all, because we have been fighting for you mother suckers for centuries, and y'all continue to choose the white tea man. Let me tell you, you will never replace him, nor will you ever be in his spot. Understand that. That is black men's issue. Y'all want to be the next oppressor. You will never be. It'll never happen. Y'all think y'all white and y'all not. That's the problem. We can talk about even black successful men who meet the baby daddy trope. Let's clock it, right? Nick Cannon, right?
I'll give you another minute. Argue with your mammy.
So please, when we have these conversations, stop being disingenuous. Call it what it is. Black men want to be the next capitalists in society, and they want to stand where white men stand. Y'all don't give a shit about being men. Y'all care about being the next white man. That's what y'all care about. That's why y'all sit up with these racist white men and y'all key when they talk about black women, not realizing that they talking about your black butt too. Because once they done dragging us, you'll be next.
All right. Argue with your mammy. I'm gonna go down here and let user 292 respond back because he wanted to, and then I'll give you 2 minutes, user 292, and then I'm gonna go up here to 30 round clip, and then Dark Truth. That's my husband. All right. So go ahead, user 292. You there? Let me send you a request to turn your mic on. You there, user 292?
Okay, yeah, I'm here now. Okay, my fault. I think she has misplaced anger because nothing I said.
Can she not be passionate? Why she gotta
Save
have
your,
No.
misplaced
hold
anger?
on, you guys.
Can she not be
I
passionate?
got y'all.
Save your
Let's
racist
not be.
microaggressions. You
Hold
know
on.
what?
Let's not be sensitive. I wasn't.
Just let him get this out.
Yeah, it
Go
was.
ahead.
I'm not. Let's not be sensitive. I was saying misplaced anger because
The
nothing.
fuck up, please. Like, stop that. Please stop.
Hold on, you guys. Let him. I understand that what he's saying is very inflammatory. I do get it. I just wanted to give him a chance to speak because y'all do know that I upload these to my YouTube. Shameless plug. This is my backup page, not my main page. So if you guys want to follow me on YouTube, all you have to do is click on my bio. My link is right there. But I do upload these, and a lot of times the people's complaint on YouTube is that the people that have differing opinions, they're not allowed to speak fully, and we just, get on them. So I'm trying to let them get it out so that people can hear it. So sorry, you guys, but I'm definitely on y'all side. Go ahead, user 292.
So what I was saying was nothing in my statement discredited anything black women did for black people in America. Nothing. I was actually speaking to the system of how it pits us against each other. And this is an example, right? Just inflammatory back and forth for nothing that goes nowhere towards the cause, right? So I was actually, before I finished, I said I was going to say something crazy, but I was actually blaming black men, our forefathers, for everything that's going forward, right? In all honesty, like I'm from the thought process: you fight, you die before you get taken, right? That's just how I was raised. So I had nothing. It had nothing to do with, I'm part of a Panther party, or I go to Panther meetings and I talk to strong black women that were lockstep and
I'll
armed.
give you another minute.
Okay. So all of that was just in response to her. As far as the prompt, I agree with 1, 2, and 4. Number 3, I don't think that it was built on that premises to degrade black women, because that wasn't the inception of of rap or hip hop. It was infiltrated and used as a dollar sign, and they saw how influential it was to the young mind of the children. So
They
again,
could have never did any of that without the acceptance of black men. Never.
no, I
They could have
agree.
done any of it.
So I don't disagree. So really, 1 through 4, I agree, but I think targeting it as black men made it to disrespect black
They
women, that
did
was
make it
never
to
the
disrespect
case.
black women. That was what they were doing. That's what they were pushing forward. That's what they did in their music videos. That's how they treated women in
So
their private lives.
if you're
Just like
talking
how
about
you
the
had, wait a minute, just like how you
inception of
had
hip
Dr.
hop,
Dre. Just like how you had Dr. Dre that had NWA. He made all of these songs about, bees ain't nothing and hoes ain't this and that and the third. And he was beating the brakes off a woman that didn't even do anything to him named D Barnes in the bathroom, because this is exactly what he was doing. That is the type of man, that character that he had. So I think that it is disingenuous to act like, black men were not doing this on purpose. They were doing this on purpose. And if you ever ask any of them, well, where are you getting these rhymes from? Where are you getting these bars from? Oh, I'm getting it from my mind. I'm getting it from my experience. I'm getting it from how I feel. So to just lump it up and disregard it, to say that it's just about the white T man, and the white T man just said, hey, brother, here, I got this stuff I want you to do, and I know you're poor and disadvantaged. Can you do it? Is once again allowing black men to escape accountability. They most
so
definitely
so
created and
so
curated
listen,
this.
so I take full accountability. As a black man, they allowed it, right? But they're following money, right? They're
There's no excuse for that. Some people don't follow money.
so
It's like
I don't
you
disagree with
keep
you.
giving excuses, and I think that's the reason why the women here were extremely triggered and angry by the things that you were saying, because everything that you have come from, you've come from a perspective of, whether you realize it or not, maybe you're unaware. I don't know. I'm not going to say that I know your heart, because I've never talked to you before, but I'll just say that it comes from a lens of excuse. It comes from a lens of coddling. It comes from an excuse of giving some type of reasoning behind it, and there should be no reasoning behind it. You said that you believe that a man is supposed to be the leader, he's supposed to be the head. That's what you said. So if a man is
Absolutely.
supposed to be the leader, he's supposed to be the head, there's no excuses to be made.
I
If
would.
you leading and you do this, nobody can make you do anything other than what you do. Nobody can make you do anything. It's just like when you give power to people. It's just like people give power to people at their job. They come in, they do this, they give them power because they want to keep the job and they want to keep whatever money's coming in. But the minute they decide that they don't want that job, or they got another one, the power leaves, the power dissipates. You give people power over you.
I
Nobody
don't
has power over
disagree.
you that you don't give. And
I don't disagree.
like I said, I just think that the excuses you're making, the way you're framing it, like I said, if you're not aware, that's what's causing the visceral reaction from the women. But I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna let 30 round clip speak, and then I'm gonna go to Dark Truth. Go ahead, 30 round clip.
All right, so this is my problem first and foremost. How you doing, host?
Hey, how
My,
you doing?
I'm all right. My problem is this: we gotta act like we don't know how to separate the categories of rap. All right, there is a thing called gangster rap that came out the West Coast that prompted the bees ain't but hoes and all this. You know what I mean? And then you also got your Nas's, and then you also got your Lauryn Hills, and then you also got people who just talked about the struggles of black people. All right, we're not finna sit up here and put rap and gangster rap and hip hop in the same damn category
Okay,
and
so
say all of this matters.
name me five hip
That's
hop
not. We're
artists.
not gonna do
Just
that.
a second. Name me 5 rap artists and 5 hip hop artists that you feel are different and separated. Just 5.
Nas, Kendrick Lamar, Lauryn Hill, Roz
Is
Koss, MF Doom.
okay, so let me say
Can I
something.
keep? I can keep going.
Okay, so let me say something. I like Nas. When I was in high school, I listened to Nas a lot. Nas has also pushed forward very unhealthy attitudes towards black women. He's called them bitches. He's called them 304s. He's talked about them only being good for what's in between their legs. Even though he is I guess he's considered under the umbrella of conscious rap. So is Kendrick Lamar as well, and so is
Yeah.
a lot of the people that you mentioned, with the exception of Lauryn Hill. So my thing is that when you talk about hip hop and you talk about rap, oftentimes the lines are blurred with the disrespect of black women. So let's not act like the majority of rap even conscious rap, like somebody like J. Cole, has also been disrespectful of women, called them out of their name, talked about using them strictly for intercourse and other unhealthy means of interacting with women, which has caused the difficult interactions between men and women to this very day.
Well, can I
So
finish
let's
what
They've
I'm
not
talked
trying
do
to
about
say?
this,
selling
okay?
drugs and killing people too.
Can I finish what I'm about to say? All right. This is what I mean. This is what I mean by it. But there are levels to this. All right, y'all not finna sit up here and gaslight me into telling me that there's nothing positive that came out of Nas and Kendrick Lamar's rap.
I didn't. What
Then y'all
positive
not
came
about
out
to
of it?
gas.
What positive? Tell me what
Y'all
positive
not about to,
things that happened.
first of all,
What
this
positive things happened
what
in the black
the
community that
crazy.
are no, excuse me. I want to ask you a question because I feel like you're gonna go off kilter and I want to pin you to this. What positive changes that you can see right now in the black community have happened due to rap music or the people you mentioned?
I never said any changes in the community. I'm talking about positive lyrics, positive motovational songs.
The
What
All
topic
so
right,
what
isn't
is that?
about the
What has that done
positive
for the black
lyrics.
community?
It's
all
about
right.
the
Yeah, don't
influence that it has, bro.
didn't Nas have a song called "I Know I Can" for the kids? I could have
And what has
sworn.
that done?
I
And
could
what
have
has that
sworn that.
done with the and what has
I
that
could have
done with
sworn
the
that.
whole
And I used to
host
like
of
this song a lot.
Okay, so you said I know that song that you're talking about. I know Nas very well. So you're talking about I Know I Can. So what has that song done to buffer the other hundreds of songs that he's made? Like I got a pew pew and a whole a favor for a favor with Scarface and him and a whole host of other songs where he talks about unaliving black men. So what has one positive song done to counteract the hundreds of songs that he's made that's talked about
Well,
violence
when you
and
watch a
killing?
movie, when you music is like a movie.
No, answer that
It's a
question.
story. Hold
I
up, let
don't
me.
want to go there. Answer the question
Nah,
that I just asked you. What has one song done to counteract the effects of hundreds of songs that he
one
has
song
made
is not
that
going to counter effect
contradict the other thing?
one
What?
song is not going to counter attack of hundreds
Exactly.
of
That's
thousands
my
of
whole
songs.
point. That
Oh
none
my
of this
goodness,
means
bro. You
anything
did it
that
to
what you're
yourself.
talking about.
All right, well, can I finish my statement that I was trying
Go
to make,
ahead,
please?
but you keep talking about gaslighting and ain't nobody gaslit you about nothing. I just told you the truth.
Okay, well, the truth of the matter is this. All right, we're not going to avoid the fact that it's funny to me because it went from Kendrick Lamar saying, "Don't let a white comedian talk about black women," to the white comedian responding to Kendrick Lamar. And then I'm not saying all black women are saying this, but some black women are siding with the Jewish comedian.
Nobody's
That
siding
is
with
so
them
weird
here.
to me.
Nobody's
I've
siding with
seen
them
think
here.
pieces on it. It's so
Okay, so once again,
We
we're
are
not
not
going to talk
siding, bro.
about what somebody is saying that's not here. Nobody here on this panel said that. The only thing that I said is that it's hypocritical because how dare you turn around and say, hey, you're upset this white man shouldn't be disrespecting black women, which he should not. But then you turn around and you're involved in a culture that does the same. That's weird to me. Okay?
I never said, hey, I never said I was perfect. T.Y., you got my damn picture down that whole thinking you doing something.
Okay,
That's
hold
cool.
on. That's what you're not
She's
gonna
doing
do.
something
That's what
funny.
you're
Get
not
out
gonna
of here
do.
with your butt
That's
broken
what
out.
you're
You
not
mad because
gonna
you bent
do.
over. Ha
Okay.
ha ha ha.
Yeah,
He mad
that's
because no,
hold
the
on
reason
just a
why I put up
second.
the
Just a second. That's what you're not going to do. And this is exactly what I mean. Like this man wants me to talk about the positives of rap music when upset at a black woman, his first mode of attack was to call her a H word, a 304. This is exactly what I mean. The culture that has been curated to black men make them feel like it's okay to say things like that and that it's going to be tolerated. Because I have no idea why you thought that you would have your ashy behind up here continued. You would continue to be able to have a place to speak after doing that. I have no idea, but that is just a lesson in real time about how much rap music and the black community and the culture that has been curated about the disrespect of black women and how we're supposed to be accepting of it is that's the problem. Okay. And everything else he said was just stupid. But like I said, it was very clearly that man has been also infected with the virus that is rap culture and bad behavior of black men. Just like T Scorpio, she got his picture down there. That man looks like he at least has a minimum of 3 felonies or misdemeanors on his record. He's definitely been in the pen before. And I don't say this to be stereotypical. I can guarantee you that this man has a record. It's clearly obvious by the way he speaks and the
in
way
the
he looks.
video, when you go to his page, look at the video, his homeboy is in the back. He put the camera on him holding up a pew pew.
Are you
Yeah,
kidding me,
yeah, yeah. That's
girl?
that gangster music. This is the look. He sat there and say, "No, we're not gonna say that about rap culture." But look at you. You look like a degenerate. You a whole degenerate out here in these streets.
And you know
This
what?
is the effect of the rap did to you. You part of it, bro.
I mean, you could tell. You could tell. I mean, the picture is just obvious now that you show what he looks like. But okay, I'm gonna keep going. Go ahead, Dark Truth. Go ahead, hubby. If you had something to say, oh, you probably driving. Oh, he left. He probably driving. Okay, so I'm gonna add this person up here, and then I'm gonna go back down and go back up so that everybody can speak. Go ahead. This person, your bars are on. Imran, your bars are on. You here?
Hello?
You got
Hello?
something to say? Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering why
Oh,
is it
wait a minute.
on
Are you
black?
black? Are you black?
Well, I'm African.
Okay. Bye bye. All right. Go ahead, Caramel Mermaid.
Okay, I ain't busy. So one thing I'm gonna talk about the panel real quick. What Andrew Schulz did was just basically kept perpetuating what the black men allowed him to do. That's the only thing that he did. They allowed him to talk to us crazy, and now they are allowing him to talk about him as saying another black man. They are allowing him to get all these passes because he's one of those, yo, 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 what's up? I'm down. You know, I'm down. You know, I'm also a J person, so I know about the struggle. Yo, 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 yo. They got him because he's one of those Lahiti people. They're going to let him get a whole bunch of passes no matter what. And then they did, and it's funny when he said on his thing, like, that's law, don't let a Wahiti man talk about a black woman, comedian talk about a black woman. But yeah, you have a black comedian, aka Chris Rock, who was harassing a black woman for years to the point that her estranged husband had to get on national TV to smack the dog piss out of him. Nothing is said about that. Nothing is going to be said about that. But y'all literally open up this door for every other race of men to disrespect us. And then you got these men on the comments making every excuse known to mankind of why this is going on. Then I'm surprised nobody brought up Tupac talking about he's a conscious rapper, because no, he's not, because he literally had a song dedicated to an elder black woman say, and I know why you know why they call you a B. And the only reason why he wrote that song was because talking, she was going against how how gangster rap music was affecting our community, and it was. It really was, and it really is. And he made a song about that, calling an elder black woman the B word.
Okay.
So I just find it very funny how all these black men in these panels and in the comments, y'all making every excuse known to mankind for the duckery that y'all cause. This is what y'all cause. Y'all made this bed. Y'all need to lie in it. Y'all need to roll in it. Hell, y'all might need to even pleasure yourselves on it. And that's the only thing I'm gonna say about that.
Okay. All right, Caramel Mermaid. All right, let me go up here to Dark Truth, and then I'm gonna go back down to T Scorpio. You have something to say?
Yeah. All I had to say was one was the guy who was up here before when he kept talking about rap and all of that stuff was that the majority of people that he did speak about always spoke about something far negative in most of their songs than they did positive. And that the whole topic that what you were trying to bring up with that was the influence that it had on the collective, not just what one individual song that they sang that was positive, what that did or anything like that. The other thing is to user 292 who was talking about slavery and the broken black man. I guess he was trying to point to something as far as uplifting them or helping them get over what it is. But my thing is, and what I strongly believe is that it should be men that help men that aren't broken, help those that are broken to get in a place to where they can be leaders and can do the things that they need to do in society and within their community to help push it forward. Instead of relying on always trying to say, well, you know, this man is broken, because you're putting the onus on Black women to always have to carry the load of the family on their shoulders by always trying to make sure that this guy is getting up to where he needs to be. When you have men that are not broken, that should be in the community, they should be the ones trying to influence those that are broken and influence the youth in order to get them into a right spot or going in the right place. But that's all I got for right now.
Okay, and I just wanted to say to 30 round clip, just in case anybody doesn't know, because this is my backup page. You know, my main page is Unpopular Opinions Black Woman BLKWMN. Once again, if you guys want to follow my YouTube, just click on the link in my bio, it'll take you to my YouTube. Let me say this. This is a space for Black women, always and always first and foremost. I center Black women and put Black women first, and I always will. It's a safe space for Black women, not you. So if you ever in your life think that you're going to come on some type of platform and you're going to call a Black woman out of her name, you're going to call her 304, you're going to call her B word, you're going to get real wild, get real rowdy, you're going to get blocked and you're going to get dropped, or you're going to get dropped at the very least. It's never going to happen. You're never going to be allowed to do that here. I openly and say this with no apologies. I play favorites here, and my favorites are Black women, and it always will be that way. So if you know that, then you know. If you didn't know that, you know that now, going and moving forward in the future. So the fact that you thought that you was gonna sit there looking as ashy as you do, looking as low budget as you do, looking as like you you know what I'm saying? Let me not say what I was going to say. I'll just say this. You look very low class. All right. Very low budget. You're giving very much Family Dollar and Dollar General. And if you think that you're ever going to fix those Dollar Tree lips to disrespect the Black woman here, you're out of your rabbit's mind. Okay. So with that being said, stop sending me requests. Stop commenting in the comments in the chat. You got one chance with me, one and one chance only. I don't play games. I don't coddle Black men here. I don't give Black men second chances. Maybe your baby mama did, or maybe your mammy did, but I don't. You got one chance and one chance only to come correct. And if you don't, you're gone permanently. So deal with that. Have a great day, sir. Go somewhere else and get you some Carmex for those lips. Go ahead, T. Let me see. Yeah, go ahead, T.
No, I'm here, honey. Like I said, like the reason why I went to his page, because you know, like, one, the name was given, the picture was given. I said, let me look in his page, and I was like, yeah, just as I expect, a Pookie, a Ray Ray, a degenerate. You know, I was like, yeah, always want to say how rap music has no influence, but meanwhile, you sit up here with pictures, like I said, trying to look like a gangster, and all that other shit. Come on in. Anyways, trying to look all gangster and shit like that. So anyways, but my response is really going to be on user. Bruh, the suffering my ears was given when you was talking, it doesn't even come close to, like, I'm kind of speechless. Like, the stuff that I heard this dude saying, I'm like, did you even ever read a book before? Listen, stop going on YouTube University is not it. YouTube University is not it. Because if y'all ever picked up a book and read it, you wouldn't say half of the shit that you have said. My Trigger, my ears was literally suffering, and I don't know what to say. I'll come back later. Ugh.
Okay. All right, let me go up here. User 292, I'm gonna give you 60 seconds to speak uninterrupted if you would like. Go ahead if you still wanted to say something. If not, I'll move forward. Let me send you a request to turn your mic on just in case you can.
I don't really have much to say. I was just laughing. I have a law degree. I'm a bar certified lawyer. But
no, you're not.
I feel you, man.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Stop
and
lying.
why would you say that?
Stop the cap.
Because I'm a Black man? Because I'm a Black man?
No. Because you sound like you smoke Black and Mouse. It sounds like you got dirt underneath your nails.
Yeah, no.
It sound like you at home while
I'm from LA. I'm from South Central. Yeah, I grew up in South Central. But I went to UCLA. I went to Loyola Law School. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
yes, ma'am.
It don't sound like it. It don't sound like it.
I mean, why? What do you want me to do? You want me to not be myself? It
don't sound like it. No. Your information that you were spewing was so much full of shit.
So when you say was full of shit. I just was trying to give context to certain things. It wasn't about not taking accountability or not blaming anybody. I was trying to give context to why things are still continuing and happening till this day.
But your context has been disproven
So
so
even
many times, sir. So
Respectfully,
that's
as a
why I don't believe
Hold
your
on,
Caribbean
you guys.
position.
historian,
Y'all
sweetie,
gotta let the man. I told the man that I would give him a minute to speak uninterrupted. So y'all can't interrupt him.
yeah,
Y'all can debunk him afterwards.
if I could just say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if y'all can.
Sean, okay, give us 1 minute. Ivana's.
You there? 292.
We already about.
Okay.
Get up and get back on.
Yes, Ivana did just check, and we do have your order. And Christopher Frederick's the G. Christopher, which color
There, 292.
the little lucky one in your life?
I'm sorry. There's something in my background playing. I could barely hear y'all. But
Chris, don't worry about that.
okay,
yes, I'm doing
Get off and get back on,
you
bro.
can
You
move
gotta
on. My
get back
phone's
up.
tripping.
Your
The app is tripping on me.
his TV is on.
I'll come back to you, user 292. I once again, user 292. I just think that it's just I'll just try to be the buffer, the in between. I think the reason why T and Carmel gave you pushback when it comes to the fact that you said that you were a lawyer, I think it's just because you were grossly miseducated about a lot of the things that we were speaking about, and just your attempt to use a fictional letter as as a foundation of the state of the Black community. I think that that's what it is. And oftentimes, I went to college. I think that people oftentimes confuse, having the ability to retain knowledge and take testing, which is that's what going to college is all, wrapped up in. And I can say that as a college graduate, that people think that means that there's some type of intelligence and extreme intelligence involved. And it's not. You know what I mean? It's just your ability to memorize and retain the information and testing properly. So I don't think that's necessarily an indicator of intelligence or no intelligence or high intelligence. I don't think that is necessarily an indicator of your cognitive abilities, because there are plenty of people that are self-educated and stuff like that are extremely intelligent, even more so than people that may have had formal education. Not to knock anybody's education, like I said, it's not like I didn't go to college myself, but it's just weird when people do that. But anyway, is everything okay now, user 292? Did you want your minute now? Let me send you a request just in case. I just tried to talk so that just in case you wanted to speak. You there? I sent you a request to turn your mic on. Because like I said, I disagree, with a lot of things that you were saying, but I just want everybody to know that I'm the host, so I'm just trying to be impartial, even though I'm not really impartial, but I try to be impartial, certain ways to try to, because you know what I'm saying. So, all right, he said his app is not working, so I will go ahead. User 292, I'll drop you, and you can come back if you like. Maybe me disconnecting you will help you get back up. So let me know if it did. Send me a request and I'll add you back up. Okay, let me go down here to argue with your mama. I'll give you 2 minutes, sis. Argue, yeah. Let me send you a request to turn your mic on. Oh, no, I think I turned it off. Okay, go ahead, argue.
I just want to say it's so I'm also a trained literacy tutor. I mean, when I come into these conversations, because I don't enter them often, because I feel like it's useless to argue with the demographic of people who are the least that can read. It's a stark evidence to Black men being heavily misinformed about what's actually happening in society, and to the fact that they will not take accountability for themselves. I cannot believe that man came up here and tried to say that Black women were uplifted during enslavement. Sweetie, are you being for real? None of us were seen as humans. So for you to even make a comment like that lets me know that you're lost in the sauce, lawyer or not. And it is disrespectful to sit up here and continue to play in our faces as if Black women haven't been dealt the same card that Black men have been dealt in society. We are all at the bottom, and Black women are even more so at the bottom with a double negative, being Black and woman. Right? We know how the demonization of feminization in America is a gold ticket to stardom. Right? Kevin Samuels proved that.
Okay. All right. Argue with your mammy. All right. I'm gonna go up here to King Cuzzy and then Hustler. And then after that, after these two guys speak, I'll add you back up, user 292. So I haven't forgot about you. Go ahead, King Cuzzy.
Can I get put down and brought back up? My app is doing the same thing user 292 was doing. It's
Okay.
like
All right,
not
sure.
allowing me. All right.
Okay, go ahead, Hustler. Hustler Ambition. Go ahead.
Hey, first things first is there's nothing wrong with having a lot of firearms if you stay in a red state. That's first things first. A lot of y'all don't stay in a red state. A lot of y'all don't come from the South. So
Okay, you muted yourself, Hustler's Ambition. What does that have to do with the
so you
topic of the
don't
screen? Let's stay on
so
topic.
you so you don't know on the, okay, I'll stay on topic. The problem is this: Black women, right? Some of you are gaslighting Black men. First of all,
About
you should
what?
be mad at Andrew Schulz. Stop being mad at Kendrick Lamar.
Okay, hold on.
This man just
Why are
said
you
he
mad
was
at
great.
him?
No. Hold on. Everybody, please stay muted. I would like you to tell me what Black women are gaslighting Black men about. Because when you say things so that we can get clarity, I'm just trying to understand exactly what you're saying. So, what
Damn
are
right, this
Black
third
women
round.
gaslighting Black men about?
Y'all sitting up here gaslighting us about rap music. Everybody
Trigger,
know that rap.
Oh, just
your 30
Everybody,
round.
everybody, yeah, this 30 round. Don't run from it, T.
Okay, get out of
Yeah, it
here.
is
Get
me.
Right,
your
he had a
extra
different
stuff out of
page.
here. I didn't, you know
That's
what?
what I try to tell you.
Oh my goodness, see, you know what? The thing about it is that all of these uneducated dusty pookies sound the same. They have the same ghetto lingo and then that same like ghetto cadence that they all sound the same to be half of them. So it's like I didn't know that it was him. It's just like, I had no
I'm trying
idea.
to
And then the fact
I was
that
like,
this man would be blocked and then still come up here is insane. Like, this is how I know that, like, a lot of y'all are definitely aggressive and attack women. And the fact that you really thought you was really finna get that off is just crazy. Like, and I should have known when he said gaslighting. This Negro just learned gaslighting yesterday because he keeps using gaslighting and it's not even in the proper context. Like, why do you didn't get anything off? Nothing at all. You didn't get a doggone thing off. You sounded just as stupid as you did earlier. It's very sad that I don't know what has occurred with a lot of y'all that y'all don't have any type of like literacy or nothing like that. It's scary. It's absolutely terrifying. But let me just keep going. I'm gonna add user 292 up here, and I'm gonna add the King Cuzzy up as well, and then I'll add you other guys that are waiting in the chat. Okay, here's your minute, user 292. Go ahead.
So I didn't really have much else to say other than I
Okay.
think she's generalizing my statement about Black women being elevated. It wasn't elevated in the sense of some positive way. They were just over sexualized. But with that came perks. So in that, they were being raped, right? But in that, there were perks for them, and they became
What were the
tethered.
perks? What were the perks?
Well, if Master like you a little more, you get treated a little better. You might get to come in the house and clean, right? It's a little better than picking the cotton, but you get to come in
But
the
they
house
still
and
a
clean,
slave
right?
though, bro.
I,
They
I,
still,
I
Yes,
don't
no,
I don't
they
want
still
to
got
be
the
so
same
confused.
punishment.
again, it's not saying that, oh, your life was better. They were being taken advantage of. But right, have you ever worked somewhere where you hate it, but the boss likes you a little more, so you can be 5 minutes late, but everybody else, if they a minute late, they get written up or things like that. There were perks
But we're
because they
talking
were being
about chattel slavery, though. Chattel
absolutely,
slavery. I don't
absolutely.
think anything was a perk in chattel slavery, no, bro.
I,
I mean, being honest, I don't think none of it was a perk.
so
Because being closer to massa means you was probably in more danger than being outside. Especially if his wife was up there and she had problems with you. So I wouldn't consider that a perk that they was able to come in the house. I don't consider a perk that the master might have had an eye for her. So his treatment of treating her better meant that she was going to be great that night. I don't think that's a perk. Like, you got to choose your words a little bit better than that one.
I don't even understand why you bringing up slavery in any kind of way, bro.
Well,
Like
this I don't know how long you been in here, but this is going back to a conversation that happened about 40 minutes ago. But
oh, okay. Because
so
I
I'm just
gotta make sense.
so
I
we're
don't
just
want to
touching
cut
back
you off,
on
and
it.
I don't want to be rude,
Yeah,
but you
y'all can't. Please. Okay, looky here, US user 292. I think what you're saying is so inflammatory. Like everybody just keep interrupting. And like I said, I don't mind y'all all saying stuff, but I'm just trying to be the host to be fair, because I promise when I upload this on YouTube, it'll be people all in the comments like, y'all didn't let him speak. Why didn't y'all let him speak? You're a terrible host. So I'm just trying to be the best host that I can be. So user 292, sir, I'm trying.
No, it's cool. Look,
It's very
it's
draining
cool.
because what you're saying is insane. I need you to
Um,
understand it is crazy.
so if we're all in a snowstorm and I have a jacket, we all in a bad situation. But if I have a jacket, it's a little better. It's a little better. Somebody gave me a jacket, right? So it's a little better. So for
You
you to
can't even speak on that because
hold
you
on, for
weren't
you to,
there. You
but for
don't
you,
even
no, no, but for
know.
you to, that's why there's a house Negro and a field Negro terminology. There was a difference. There was a seemingly difference, and
No, these
they
people
both
had
knew.
been conditioned and broken mentally to feel as if there was a difference. There was no difference. And for us to be black people with freedom in 2024 and have the ability to because hindsight is 2020, to see that, for you to sit there and try to make it like it was a difference, and you're not speaking from that perspective of being mentally broken, is
No, but that's what I'm
insane.
speaking to.
There
That's where
were no
I think we
cursed.
have a disconnect. That's what I'm
Okay.
speaking to. That this
Okay.
it that was also a mentality that was given to us that we still carry today. So that
Yes,
was my
you
whole point
carry
of
it. You
no,
carry
I
it.
don't carry it, but
Oh, you
as a
carry it.
collective,
You carry it.
oh
It's
no, no,
very
no, no,
prevalent in you.
no. Like I told you
Okay,
before,
I
I'd
gotta
rather
stop
die than
speaking
be a
with you.
slave. So
Okay,
I don't
you
have
know
that
what?
weakness in me.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna keep. I can't take it anymore. I tried to be fair. I can't do it anymore. What you're saying is insane. It's not only is it insane, it's also grossly uneducated. And I'm gonna go ahead, King Cuzzy. I'm gonna go to King Cuzzy and then AJ, and then I'm gonna let argue with your mama speak, because I think she wants to speak. Go ahead, King Cuzzy.
I just want to say that I agree with the panel. However, I think that it's black people in general that give a lot of stuff a pass, and like as people, we give a lot. Like, and I agree with the discussion wholeheartedly, because like at this point, like we be letting a lot of stuff slide for our black women. Like, I'm gonna lie, I don't understand. I think I don't want to turn anybody down and nobody community. I think that a lot of these guys out here, they look questionable when it comes to like I love my mama. I love my family, all of the women in my family. So just to let somebody think that they got the up on my family members in general is crazy to me. So I don't understand why we, like you said, we allow certain things to happen when they come to us, and then that's a black community thing. But as the males, as the men of the world, I think that it is our responsibility to put things in check, because if we let it happen, we just as worse as us doing it. And I feel like we do it so much to our women that other people think is okay. So I absolutely agree, and I'm a man.
All right, King Cuzzy. Yeah. User 292, I'm gonna go ahead and drop it. You have a great day, sir. I pray that you educate yourself. If you are indeed a lawyer, truthfully, I pray that you use the same, gumption that you did to educate yourself and take the bar, to educate yourself on African history, African American history, Black American history, however you want to call it, and figure out, where you have, internalized these insane ideas. And also the idea of that you would unalive yourself before being a slave, or like you were in some type of better position than the people that came before us, is not true, because the things that you are saying point to the fact that you would have just been right there getting abused with everybody else. You're not any type of outlier. You're not Nat Turner. Have a great day. Let me move forward to AJ. Go ahead, AJ. Let me send you a request to turn your mic on just in case you can't. Go ahead, AJ.
I just have a couple of quick questions. Is the is the outrage more so from it being from Andrew Schulz, or is it the what he's actually saying about black women or black people in general? Like, is
Well, personally, okay, so for me, I feel like it's layered.
okay,
Right? You know how, like, you might have a brother or a sister and you might say things about them, but if somebody else says something about them that's outside of your family or outside of your community, you're going to say, hey, what are you doing? That's my brother, that's my sister, that's my whoever. Don't talk about them like that, right?
right,
So I'm not saying that the disrespect of black women or the disrespect of black men is cool if black men, black women, or black men do it. But I'm saying it's a special type of overstepping if you allow someone that isn't even in the community to violate and overstep and disrespect. And not only do they do that, but they do it in your presence because they deem you to be so weak that you're not going to say anything or give them any pushback for it. So that's my opinion on it. Now, I can't speak for everybody else on the panel, but that's my opinion on it, is that Andrew Schulz has been allowed to overstep. He is comfortable being in black business. He's comfortable disrespecting black women and black men and saying that he's going to grape a black man and put his legs in the air if they were in prison and all of these type of things because black men have allowed them to do that, because that is the people that he is normally surrounded by when he says all of these type of things and that are laughing and kikiing along. They're black men.
Can I also
So
say something?
yeah, go ahead.
It's also in the vein of you have your family. You're like your family, and y'all can talk about each other. But somebody outside your family can't do that. Even if you don't like your cousin, you wouldn't allow somebody outside your family to talk about your cousin. You get what I'm saying?
right. No, absolutely. Does everybody else on the panel share that same sentiment, or do they have a different standpoint? Because I would say I share the same sentiment, but I've been trying to pay close attention to different social media platforms, different dialogue, and different opinions that I've seen. And the largest one that I've seen so far is that when it comes to black men who are being told, oh, well, y'all don't defend black women enough, y'all don't, defend black women enough, their retort would be, well, what exactly am I defending? And one person went into, I wish I would have saved the screenshot, but one person went into it and was like, when black men are getting beat up on by whoever it is, black women will be the first one to laugh in their face. For instance, when he gave the example of Saucy Santana saying the exact same thing about DJ Academics, and because most women don't like DJ Academics,
Okay, so wait a minute. I'm gonna stop you right there. That is a very piss poor example. DJ Academics got that treatment because he is very abusive. He is very disrespectful to black women. He always got something to say. He has several SA charges and rape charges against black women. So why would anybody want to defend DJ Academics about anything?
well,
Make that make sense.
he
Why would you even
continued
use that as an example?
because he continued with Kendrick Lamar being so far, and as Andrew Schultz kind of pointed towards, a hypocrite. He would call another black man a deadbeat and then do a song with Future. He would say he doesn't like PDF
Okay, and
files and
Andrew
then
Schultz is a hypocrite. He's out here talking about black people and
but I
getting
was
smart
just
with them.
speaking to,
It doesn't make any
but
sense. Anybody
I'm
that's
just
pro
speaking
Andrew
to,
Schultz or wants to play the devil's advocate where it comes to him is gone. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm done. User 292 used up all of my acceptance of something that rhymes with cartooning. All the cartooning, I'm not accepting no more cartoons up here. And if I do, like, I'll probably let you speak for like 30 seconds and then I'm not gonna hear your voice anymore because I'm not here for cartoons. And so you gotta go somewhere you got to go somewhere else with that. Okay. Bye. The fact that you trying to play devil's advocate for somebody like DJ Academics and Andrew Schultz lets me know what type of person that you are, what type of man you are, which is not one. You got it? Okay. All right. And you said that was silly. It's okay. You're going to be silly right here in this world of blockdom. Blocked. Bye-bye. See you later. You're gone, never to return. All right. So let me move forward up here to Miss Chrissy. I never in my life seen such a demographic of men willing to be violated and disrespected and dominated by another group of men. If you think that you would be on a all white platform or where people are the majority white and you would have your black behind up there, and you as a black man would talk about how you don't like white tea people, or how you would grape a white man, or how you would do this, that, and the third, if you think they would allow you to do that, they would never allow you to do that. So ask yourself why you allow them to do that to you. Huh? And the fact that y'all think that I'm crazy for saying that, is just like how when BET has the BET Awards and their main categories and all that other stuff, they got white tea people winning and Blue Eyed Soul winning and all of that stuff. But then you talk about somebody like that cartoon Shabuzi, who's also a sellout, who didn't win and they didn't give him nothing, and all these other black people that don't win at the CMAs, like they never return the favor. They never do what you allow them to do. So it's just like, it's so weird that a lot of black men come up and try to explain that away. But I digress. Is something wrong with y'all? Is something wrong with y'all? Go ahead, Miss Chrissy, baby. I'll give you
I
2 minutes.
argue with your mama was before me. She can go first, and then
Oh,
I'll
sorry,
go.
sorry, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so I'll give you 2 minutes, argue with your mama, and then Miss Chrissy, baby, 2 minutes, and then Frederick, 2 minutes. Go ahead,
Yeah, I'm just
argue with
gonna
your
say
mama.
something really quick because I got to get back to work. And I know that
Sorry.
social security number is still in here listening. You are very misinformed about enslavement in any country or continent. So I think it's best that you stop speaking about it. As an actual studying historian, it almost made me throw up in my mouth to hear you say things like, if master SA'd you, you would get privileges and perks. Sweetie, are you being for real? That those essays led to the fancy trade. And I'm sure y'all are not aware of what that is, but that is the first sign of sex trafficking in America. So be very careful when you making those comments, because half the time the children that ended up in the house were children of SA accounts, right? Even when white tea women were SA and black men. Be for real.
All right, argue with your mama. I appreciate you, and I definitely think that you said facts, and I'm so sorry I didn't get I overlooked you about that. Sorry about that, sis. Hopefully I get a chance to talk to you again. I know you said you had to go to work and drop, but hopefully I get a chance to talk to you further. Let me go up here to Miss Chrissy, baby.
Hi. I also wanted to expound on that also. I'm kind of glad he said that because it just shows their sick, twisted view of grape and why they didn't understand the bear conversation. Not to bring that up, but they really think that grape is not a big deal. You understand what I'm saying? Like when women were saying, I'd rather be unalived than be violated in that way. So in his mind, he really think because of whatever he thinks about women sexually, that they would enjoy being violated in that way or get perks or whatever. Like put it in a positive light. It's just wild to me, in my opinion. And it just goes to show what they think grape is really like, what they think coercion is really like. And that's really sick. And that just demonstrated that there's some type of weird envy, like they want to be great. But I don't know, but that was just really sick because that's how his brain is working. He really thinks grape is no big deal on a woman. That's all I wanted to say because I thought that was really sick.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think it was crazy too. Like, I don't really know what he was on. He was on some definitely weirdo type of time. I talking about perks. Like, what if you're in a horrific situation, like a nightmare, the worst, the thing that's happening to you that could ever happen to a human being? In what world could you call anything a perk? Like, what? Why would you even say that? Like, let me keep going. Go ahead, Frederick. You got 2 minutes, Frederick. Let me send you a request to turn your mic on just in case you can't. You there, Frederick? Okay, I'm let me see. Let me send you one more. If not, I'm going to move forward. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, for sure. I agree with it mostly. The only thing I would say it'll be 100% correct when we talking about like the rap culture and stuff like that. I do agree that a lot of it degrades women. You know what I'm saying? There's so many songs that is out here that degrade the hell out of women. But also, we do have to look in the mirror and realize too that a lot of these women, they like that type of music. Like Rob 49, like he said, he like putting women on their knees, and it's a lot of women out here singing them songs too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, I feel like it's both. You
Okay.
know, both of us, we kind of got to get on our thing and stop. We just need to step together and start actually being one and defending
Okay.
each other and fighting together.
I'm just going to interject real quick, Frederick, because I don't want to forget what I was about to say to you. I
Yeah.
think that when we talk about the conversation of Black women listening to those type of lyrics, we always neglect to mention the fact that Black women have already been essentially brainwashed and conditioned to think those type of music lyrics are acceptable for decades now, decades upon decades upon decades. Gangster rap was like in my dad's time, like, you know what I mean? And there was all type of, that was what was being pushed, that was what was being popularized, that was what was mainstream, that was what was being force fed or breastfed, however you want to consider it, to Black women and Black men, of course more Black men, but also Black women as well. So how long can you tell a Black woman that she's a B, that she's a 304, that she's a lut, that she is only good for one thing, and say all of these graphic actual depictions on how you want to see her and this is what she needs to do for decades upon decades, and then not expect that those women that listen to that lyrics won't be affected by it in some way and eventually begin to enjoy that type of music the same way that it has affected young Black men into living criminal lifestyles and glorifying that. I think we neglect to mention the fact that a lot of women enjoy that type of music because they feel like that's the music that's for them, that they have internalized that and believe that that is what they are worth. That is exactly what has happened with a lot of the female rappers that we have now because of that. So I think that that's something that's a nuance that isn't included when we talk about that, is that Black men are the first ones to tell women that that is what they are good for. So you can't be mad when those women believe what you say after years of indoctrination.
And
Yeah.
so with that too, so let's think about it. So even with the gangster rap, and we're talking about like with the men. So if we keep pushing that message to these young boys with the music, hey, be a gangster, you know, go out there, tow pistols, you know, do all of the little stuff that they talk about in the music. So at one point, so is it kind of like the same with the men? So if you've been taught that and that message has been pushed in your head for so long, is it some point that us as Black men, we need to take accountability and stop trying to live that lifestyle? Would you agree?
I would agree, but the difference is that Black men started this. They started this culture and this environment of disrespect and degradation, not only to themselves but also to the women in their community as well. Black women didn't start this; the men did. So I think that that's the point that we're losing. And of course, yes, it would be better if Black men would accept that and say, hey, you know what? Let's stop making this type of music. We're done. We don't care if they're going to give us millions and millions of dollars. We're just done. We're not making this type of music anywhere at all if it's about negativity. But I don't think that's going to happen.
And
That's
and
strictly
I
in the
agree
hands of
with
Black
you.
men. It's not in the hands of Black women at all.
And I don't think that the music is gonna stop anytime soon because a lot of these people, they just gonna continue to sell out to get the check. But at the same time, it has to be, we got to actually look in the mirror and be like, hey, bro, we need to stop this. So just like the men, a lot of the men, they need to stop trying to degrade the women and they need to stop pushing these negative messages to the young boys. But at the same time, a lot of women got to be like, look, I don't want to be degraded like this. At some point, we all got to take a stand and take our dignity back and be like, bro, I don't want this no more. So at the same time, yeah, it's the men that started it, but at the same time, a lot of the women gonna have to push back and be like, I don't want this no more. So
I
it's not gonna happen if we don't come together and be like, we don't want this.
I mean, I definitely agree with you. I definitely think that Black women should not consume that type of music and they have it a part to play in accountability for that. Absolutely. But I don't believe that even if Black women would to divorce themselves from that type of music and not listen to it, that it would stop Black men from doing it at all. I don't. So, you know, I don't. But let me keep going, moving forward to Maceo. Go ahead.
There's so much to unpack, but I'll try to be quick and concise. One, Andrew. So no, okay. So for number one, yeah. So the response should have been getting up in his face, slapping him in the face, and saying, "You don't talk to black women about like that, or about black women, or at the very least, make it very clear that yeah, that ain't funny. I'm not laughing at that. If I start getting on the women in your community and how they want to be black women, but they also racist, then it's gonna get real ugly in here. Don't laugh and joke when you say it. Be very serious and stern when you check people about disrespecting black men. That would have set the tone that, oh, I can't say that about these women to these men. Right? That's what should have happened. Black men open the gate. Yeah, well, I'll say this. I'll say that YT people open the door, but black men are holding it open for them. If that makes sense. Rap culture built off the
Explain that a
degradation.
little bit more, because that didn't make sense to me. I ain't quite
So
understand what you're saying.
racism, white supremacy is what causes this disrespect of black women, and black men participate by holding the door open. They didn't open the door, they just keep it open. That's what I'm saying. Rap culture built off the degradation. So I disagree with that. So like I said in the chat, and Ice Cube talked about this on an interview a couple months ago, how there's committees in these record companies where they say, this is what you're going to talk about. If you don't talk about this, you're going to get shelved. Now, am I defending the artist? No, I'm not, because they're just as guilty. But there are committees that say, basically, this is the type of music we want to push because this is what we want to sell. If they wanted to push positive music, they would push positive music, like in the 80s, early 90s. Then there was this sharp turn. Then you had NWA. Then you had drill rap. Then you had trap music, all of that. That is the record companies pushing that narrative. The artists are just guilty because they participate in it, like we said in the chat. They take the check to do it. And yeah, we should stop giving passes. I don't even think some certain people should even be entertaining these conversations. Like this idiot who said that house slaves had it easier. This is McGraw-Hill 101 thinking that house slaves were treated just as bad as field slaves. They were beaten too. They were unalived too. They were raped almost daily. How is that better or a luxury compared to what was going on in the fields? But again, McGraw-Hill will tell you house slaves had a better life because they were doing housework. No, they did not. There isn't any type of treatment field slaves were getting that house slaves weren't getting. And I'll rest right there.
Okay. I did want to respond to somebody in the comments, Cool Rich. You talking about that you've done more for the black community and all this other stuff and how you've been disrespecting and violating people in the comments. I sent you a request to come up. You have literally 30 seconds to come up, and if not, you're getting blocked, because I don't like it when people really get disrespectful and talk cash money stuff, but they're not able to stand behind what they say and their voices be heard. And I don't want to hear I'm at work or I'm that, this, or that, because you've been using these Twitter fingers for quite a while. And if you were that busy with whatever you're doing, you wouldn't be in here typing. So Cool Rich, you got about another 15 seconds and you're going to go to the wonderful world of Blockdom, and hopefully you have a great trip. I'm going to give you, once again, now it's about another 10 seconds before you get blocked. All right, Cool Rich, you about to be gone because I'm not really about to play with you. You saying a lot. Cool Rich. Yeah, come to the front because you said a lot. So please tell me what issue you have with the topics on this screen that is making you attack the people in these comments. Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So there's been some things that's been said in the comment section. That's extremely false as far as, like, black men not protecting the community and all those things like that. As far as, hey, that's if you're saying that you don't, brother, that's at your discretion. I'm a CPL instructor. I train and teach people in our community how to be able to protect themselves legally and physically with the firearm, so that way they don't have to deal with, mitigating factors of not being able to protect themselves.
What you're doing is anecdotal, but you can go ahead.
No, it's not anecdotal.
Yes, it is anecdotal because you're talking about what you do.
I'm part of the national.
You're
I'm
not
part of
talking
the
about the
National
collective.
African American Gun Association. That
Once
is a
again, you're not
national
talking about the
association.
collective, though. That's
That
what
is
I'm
the
saying.
collective.
How many people are in the national?
It's
How
not
many
the
people are
collective.
in the organization that you're speaking of? Can you give me a number?
Millions.
Okay. I let me go look that up. You said what now? I'm gonna look it up myself. Go ahead. Speak. Well, tell me
Naga.
what the national what? I'm gonna look it up while you speak. I'm gonna let you go
Just
ahead.
look up Naga. Just look up Naga.
All right, hold on.
But
Why do you think
regardless of all
protection
of
is
it,
just physical?
yeah, it's a lot of different ways of protection. But as
Okay.
far as this whole Andrew So situation, now are those guys that's in Europe and London, were they extremely weak? Of course, they should have slapped dude as soon as he said that little disparaging remark, and then also the extra stuff that he be saying. Of course, he needs to be slapped. So as far as letting people get a little bit by in the community and things like that, trust me, I definitely agree that we kind of let people get a little too comfortable. They get way too comfortable putting their feet up on the kitchen table and stuff like that. Like, nah, move your matter of fact, why you got your
Why are
shoes
they
on?
comfortable?
So yeah, exactly. We understand that there are certain different things
Okay,
that
just
they
1
should not be able
second,
to be
Cool
comfortable.
Rich. Yeah, I just want to interject and just tell you that you're a complete liar. It says that the Naga has 45,000 members in 75 chapters. 45,000. Not a millions, not hundreds of thousands. 45,000 nationwide in 75 chapters. So please stop lying and stop the cap. This is exactly what I was saying when I said that it's anecdotal. Because if you say that the people that are in your organization are protectors, cool. I wouldn't even tell you, challenge you and say that that's a lie. Cool. What I'm saying is it's not the collective, sir. And you should be wrong for lying like that, like somebody wasn't gonna fact check you. I'm gonna go ahead and give you 1 more minute because you're a liar. So you got 1 minute, 60 seconds. Go. But you lied blatantly. You know what I'm
I
saying?
blatantly lie. I
Yes, you
blatantly
did.
lie. So
You
when
did
we're
you not
teaching
blatantly lie?
classes, all
No,
right.
no, no.
So
Did
how
you not?
about
No, you're
this?
not even gonna
Or I
speak.
could,
Did
or I
you
could have
not
just been
blatantly lie?
incorrect,
Yes or no?
or I could have just been
Did
wrong. How about just saying I
no,
was
you
wrong?
wasn't wrong. You lied because you tried to. What you said was millions in order to address my
Okay,
point.
how about
To
this? How
knock my
about I
point
correct
down.
myself? How about I correct myself? We train millions. We train millions. It's 45,000 of us. Does that
Oh
work?
my gosh, you everything that you say, I'm not even trusting nothing you say because you just lied. Just go
How you
ahead.
know
You
you
got
train
60
millions
seconds,
though,
bro.
bro?
He don't train no millions. They got
45,000. You don't think
45,000 members.
45,000 people can
No,
train millions?
no, keep going.
We have
Just
at
keep
least
going.
20 people per class.
You just
Just do the
lied.
multiple.
Please keep going. Doing the
Just do the
math
math.
there wouldn't add up to millions. But just keep going, bro. You got
For
Even
60
so
seconds.
though, if we look at
You
it,
should have
even
just
if you
said
say
we
Naga,
train
if Naga
millions and just
trains, if
we
Naga
do
trains
classes
all of
every
these
month.
people,
We do
if
classes every month. Like I have a class literally this Sunday. I have
yeah,
at
yeah,
least
yeah, yeah.
20 to 25
Hey,
people. So if you have
if Naga trains all of those people, that doesn't mean that it translates into them all protecting the community. They may
Exactly.
be protecting their families. They may be protecting, just loved ones or themselves. We're talking about the collective of the community and protecting that. Because like, are these NAGA people in like the hoods patrolling, making sure that gang violence doesn't go out of control or that drugs stay down, like things like that. You get what I'm saying?
Man. All
keep
right,
honoring
I'm
who
gonna
you
let him
are.
I'm gonna give him another 30 seconds, but bro, like you already eviscerated your own point
hello,
by lying.
I'm okay. I
Go
don't
ahead.
really care. I'm talking about
Oh,
the
you don't
person
really
like
care? Okay,
so.
all right, I
No,
got you. If you don't really care, then get your ashy behind off my life. That's my thing is that y'all feel like y'all gonna be shady. Y'all feel like y'all gonna get smart. Y'all feel like y'all gonna lie. And y'all feel like I'm just gonna accept it. Maybe your broken down, bald headed baby mama lets you play in her face and she still keeps you around, but not me. Not me. I've said this repeatedly. I do not coddle men on my lives. None of this. This is my backup, just so that you know if you enjoy what you're hearing. Please click the link in my bio. I have a YouTube if you want to hear more from me. Also, this is my backup page. My main page is Unpopular Opinions. Black woman, BLKWMN. People got mad and got that page blocked for today when I was trying to talk about this. But I just want y'all to know I don't play any games. If you think you're going to say, oh, I don't really care, and then you think you're going to get your thought out, you thought wrong. Go brush your teeth. That's what you need to go do. Go for a run around the block. Go get you some milk. Go get you some cookies. I don't care what you go do, but you won't be speaking here, Ashy. All right? I don't play with bandits on my live. All right, go ahead, Onyx Jelly Bean. I'm about to block you, Cool Rich. You're gone. Bye-bye. You're blocked. In the world of blocked them. Now you can't even listen. Now you can't even hear no more. Go ahead, Onyx.
Hello.
Hey, how you
So,
doing?
thank you for good news. So, thank you for having me up. I just wanted to make this point uh, from an elder's perspective. I guess low key, I'm considered an elder now, but I wanted to point out to the younger people here, both men and women, that in reference to the prompt, that these men, these people. Uh, are testing our men. And every time someone else said it, I'm probably just saying the same thing a different way. Every time we give them a pass and allow them to make fun of our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, they know that if you want to protect your women, you won't protect anybody. You won't protect each other. You won't protect anybody. So while they're laughing and kikiing at all this disrespect, these men have already placed them in a hierarchy in their heads. These white men have placed them in a hierarchy in their heads, and they know that these men, our men, would not bust a grape in our defense, and also that they're helpless. And instead of doing what's right, fighting, mobilizing, they choose patriarchy over racism. They choose to be he-man woman haters over. No, I'm not. Let me stop you right there. I'm going to protect my women. I'm going to protect my daughters. I'm going to protect my sisters. Just a word from on top of the hill or from a different perspective. Black men have to do better in that regard. These men are testing you all. They see that you don't respect the women that you come from and the women you make. Might I remind you? They see that you don't respect those women, and so you're failing the test. That's pretty much all I have to offer for right now. Thank you for letting me up.
Okay. Oh, no problem. All right, I appreciate you, Onyx. All right, let me go move forward to Maul. Go ahead, Maul. Let me send you a request to turn your mic on just in case you can't.
Hey, what's up? Y'all can hear
Hey.
me good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, family. Hope y'all having a blessed day. I'm gonna make it quick. Yeah, I ain't never like Andrew Schultz. You know, he really a punk. Um, Definitely them black men that be around him. That's them cartoons you be talking about. There's a whole lot of them in the community, and them the folks that betrayed Fred Hampton, MLK, Malcolm. We got traitors. We just got to be able to deal with that and recognize those people. I agree. Black men do open the door. It's definitely like if the men are strong in the community, then the women are less likely to be disrespected. With that being said, obviously, ever since slavery times, black men have been so emasculated that so many of us jump to go open that door. It is truly sad. We got to fix the mental, not only in the older men and the young adults, but in the young boys too. We got to fix the emasculation that has been happening over hundreds of years in order to make sure that we slam the door in the faces of people who would ever think about disrespecting our women. Rap culture being built off the degradation, I have to disagree with that one because as my brother, I believe Maseo was saying earlier, in the beginning, it really was about recognizing and talking about the community problems. And we do have the occasional artist nowadays that talks about community problems. But we got to recognize that
I just mean
whenever
the
it start
current
be
culture. I mean the current culture.
current
Start with
culture,
like
okay, for
gangster rap.
sure. Current culture for sure is definitely built off of disrespecting our women. As soon as the record labels got to mainstream, they said the only thing you're going to talk about is killing each other, sex, money, drugs, anything that's going to degrade your community. That's what you're going to talk about. And we got enough cartoons willing to sell themselves for a quick buck to the devil, to the white devil with a forked tongue. That now rap culture is, even with a lot of the quote unquote conscious rappers, even them, they're gonna have the occasional songs where they're talking about sex, money, drugs. Unfortunately, a lot of our lady rappers, sex, money, drugs. But again, we do have conscious rappers, Shay Noir, um, Saba. There are people out there who do talk about the community. And for the final one, yeah, we gotta stop giving passes. It's like I was talking about earlier. We got cartoons, we got traders. We gotta focus on the community. We've been out here bleeding. We've been out here getting scarred, traumatized. We not sick and tired of being sick and tired? I don't understand it really is like we got to fix our mental. We got to understand that there's an enemy all around us, not only in America but across the globe. We are the lowest class people across the globe. We can't keep on giving passes to nobody who thinks they're going to step on the necks of our children, our grandmothers, our aunties, our uncles. They got us locked up in cages like animals. They feeding us trash. We gotta do better for ourselves. We gotta love ourselves better. We gotta love the community better. And that's all I gotta say. Thank you, sister, for allowing me to speak on your platform.
All right. Okay. Appreciate you, Mal. All right. I think that I'm going to, you guys, wrap up this live. But I do think that, just like Miss Chrissy Baby said, that like we can't be the only ones going to therapy in the community. We can't be the only ones, getting education. Can't be the only ones, working very hard as far as in society, being the most employed race of women. I think that Black women are in the midst of doing all of these things on their own as a collective without any assistance. And oftentimes when there are any discussions or conversations to be had, it's always a thing where we make it like it's an even share of in responsibility or equal share in accountability when it's not. And I think that when there are people that speak out about the fact that it is definitely not equal in the accountability that needs to be had for the state of the Black community, you get called a Black man hater. You get called a person, you hate men. You hate men. Look at you. You trying to tear down the Black man. You trying to make us look bad. No, I ain't trying to make y'all look like nothing. Y'all do a great job of doing that on your own. And I think that a lot of times, I think that the collective of Black men are not aware, or maybe they don't care, is that it's not just about Black women. You are being looked at by the whole world. The whole world recognizes these things that Black women do as well. It's just that nobody cares about Black women enough to say, hey, y'all gaslighting Black women. Y'all know the things that are going on. Y'all know that it's the majority of y'all that are ruining and wreaking havoc on the Black community, and the entertainment, the music, the movies that you feed and you put extreme budgets to are unhealthy for the Black community. Or the reason why you have so many young women that find worth in twerking, since twerking is so bad, or find worth in sexuality, or all of these things are rooted in the fact that a Black man first told them that that is all they had to offer in the first place. So I don't understand why. Like, it's just like I've seen so many times where I saw this debate where it was this white T man debating this Black woman, and he was telling her about, oh, Black people in the Black community are pew pewing each other. They're robbing, they're doing this and that and the third. And I see her sit there and try to argue the stats with him, instead of making sure that she separated herself and said, hey, why are you talking to me about this? Because Black women are not doing this on any notable statistical level. It's not us. Why are you saying Black people, Black people, Black people, when you really should be saying Black men? And I think that all of those things what Black women share in the responsibility and the accountability of what's going on in the community, instead of saying proudly, or not proudly, I guess, because it's actually a shame, but saying that, hey, it's not us. We're not the majority of the people that are doing this. This is how these things continue to happen. This is how the men that are causing problems in the community are able to continue to hide, and we're not able to make any progress, because we are coddling them by the defense or by the acceptance of saying that we are equal shares in the blame of what is happening in the Black community. That is a form of coddling. That's a form of mammying. It's a form of being a pick-me and sharing in the blame of things that you had nothing to do with. Your mom wasn't doing it. Your sister's not doing it. You not doing it. And you're just taking it on. I think that until we can actually point the blame where it needs to go, or say that, hey, statistically, these are the things that y'all are doing. Statistically, we're not in any of that. How can we talk to y'all about fixing your behavior, instead of always constantly making it like it's a Black community thing, lying about it? Because it's lies. It's not a Black community thing.
Sister,
And,
can I
as much
respond?
as people would like to say that they don't like Sexy Red, or they don't like Meg the Stallion, or they don't like these girls that are making money off of sexuality, that is not causing true harm in the Black community. And even if you were to say that you thought it was causing Black harm in the Black community, that would be number 1,000 trillion, number blah 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 on the list of things that you would need to address before you could even approach it. You would need to approach a bajillion things that Black men are doing that are causing active harm first.
Sister, can I
So
respond?
yeah, I mean you can respond, but it's not really for you. But you can respond, I guess.
No, I mean, I understand, like, this is your platform and everything, but, I got to say that, as you spoke earlier, you spoke about how black women, one of the brothers was talking about black women have been listening to music. They have been conditioned over decades and decades to feel that they should actualize themselves and everything. So, of course, they're going to listen to that music. So, it's not putting off responsibility, but it's trying to understand, why do black men kill themselves? Why are we one of the number one reasons that we young black men are killing themselves? We are being conditioned mentally and spiritually and emotionally in every single way, not only to see ourselves as, little to next to nothing, but also as villains and as monsters.
And whose fault is that? And whose fault is that? At the end of the day, the fault of that is not black women. Like I said, all of these things that you mentioned are the fault of black men. It's the fault of the men in the community that are approaching these young black men and manipulating them. It's the fault of the culture that sells this type of criminality as something to be romanticized. It's not the mother's fault that's there telling her son, hey, you're not supposed to do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stay away from those boys. That's not the right thing to do. Seeing the mother go to work every day and she's not out there doing that, that is the fault of the men. And once again, as I said, until we are able to separate and acknowledge that and to have spaces where men check other men and men talk to other men about this, we won't get anywhere, because you talking to a black woman about it is never going to get you anywhere, because she already 9 times out of 10, she already knows that she's not supposed to be doing that. She's already not doing that. She's already not having that type of character. So at what point do we say, hey, these spaces are not here to talk to black women about it? There needs to be a very clear differentiation, a very clear separation of what's really causing a harm to the black community. Like you would never see a black woman, for the most part, with the exception of Candace Owens and other cartoons, which are in the minority, but you would never see a black woman on an all white panel with white tea women letting those white tea women dog out black women or black men. Never. It would never happen. You already know how black women get down. They would be acting a fool. They wouldn't allow it to go on for I would say 95% of black women. You can see that by the election results. It just wouldn't happen. So we have to acknowledge that the problem does not lie at the door of black women. It doesn't. And it's not hateful to say that, but it is hateful. And I wouldn't say hateful, but I would say it's hurtful to black men to pretend that we share equally in this when we do not. We don't. We just don't. But anyway, I'm about to end this live, you guys. I've been on live now for like 3 hours and I'm tired. And yeah. So if you like what you heard and you like this live, please understand that this is my backup page. People reported the live that I had this morning because I guess they were upset by the things that I was saying. So my main page, if you want to follow it, is Unpopular Opinions, BLKWMN. And if you like what I said as well, you can always go to my YouTube. The link is in this bio and also my main bio and all my other pages. And you just go to my YouTube. It's You're Triggered 3455. And yeah, you can follow me there as well. And I just want you to know, if you're a black woman and you are listening to this, I just want you to know something. You are amazing. You're awesome. You're special. You're valuable. And you are worthy. And I really hope that you get everything that you want and desire out of life. Even the things deep down inside that you were too afraid to tell anybody that you want, just know that you can achieve and you can get those things too. I just want you to know that this will always be a safe space for black women. I will always protect and defend y'all with every breath that's in my body. Okay. Always, I will do that. And if you're not centered anywhere else in your life, you will always be centered here. I will always put y'all first. I will always play favorites, and I will never let nobody disrespect you or play in y'all's face. Understand that I will always stand on business and 10 toes down when it comes to black women. And like I said before, the first step is making sure that people know that the majority of the things that are going on, we ain't got nothing to do with it. Period. When I talk about, I'm not saying that black women are perfect, but we don't have anything to do with the major problems, for the most part, that are affecting the black community. We don't. It's just that simple. But anyway, I'll see y'all later. I love y'all. I hope y'all have a great weekend. And Like I said, if you're a black woman, I hope you're having a special great day. I hope you find some money in the dryer. I hope that you have a great day. And love y'all. And I'll see y'all later. And I'm done talking, but I think I'm gonna go through just to make sure I don't have to block nobody else before I go.